you've ever seen me fight, you know, I try to make it as violent as possible. If you're on the fence, it's life or death, you better pick a side. And, you know, I'm coming in there to take everything he's ever worked for.
All Justin's hype will end tonight. I'm going to exploit all his weaknesses and show him what true MMA is all about.
I'm better than Alistair over him with my power, with my speed, and then with my motivation. He's probably need a tighter shot, but not like me, you know, have the same motivation and the same power as me.
Francis will not make a name of me because I'm the better fighter, and I will show that tonight.
Depois desse cinturão, acho que a gente fica muito decepcionado pelo resultado não veio, mas eu sei que essa noite eu vou pegar o cinturão de volta.
I'm excited to fight Jose Aldo again. I get to cement my legacy. He's one of the greatest 145ers to do it, and what better way to get it back to back?
Yes, it does not get a whole lot bigger or better than this. Hockey Town, USA, the epicenter of the MMA world tonight, as the Octagon returns to Detroit for the first time in more than 7 years. The main card, Fighter Arrivals, brought to you by Harley-Davidson. See your dealer today and learn to ride like some of your favorite UFC fighters with Harley-Davidson Riding Academy. Live your legend. And there he is, the undisputed UFC featherweight champion, Max "Les" Holloway. He embodies the fighting spirit of his home state of Hawaii, and with an 11-fight winning streak in tow, he is set for the first defense of his title. And it comes against the man from whom he wrested the belt away, former two-time champion Jose Aldo. He is the consensus greatest featherweight of all time, and the King of Rio is at the height of motivation entering this championship rematch tonight. Live inside a sold-out Little Caesars Arena in Detroit, Michigan, USA. This is UFC 218, Holloway versus Aldo 2. Closed captioning for tonight's telecast is brought to you by the Netflix film Bright, starring Will Smith and Joel Edgerton. Watch it on Netflix December 22nd. Tonight's broadcast is also available in Spanish, brought to you by UFCEspanol.com. And with that, thank you so much for being with us. I'm John Anik. Welcome to UFC 218. So back in June, Max Holloway went into Jose Aldo's backyard. He left Rio de Janeiro emphatically as the new undisputed UFC champion. Tonight, though, the tables have turned. We are stateside. Max Holloway is now the hunted as he tries to close out this Jose Aldo chapter once and for all. Thrilled to welcome in my broadcast partner, the legend Joe Rogan. So we've watched Max grow up in the Octagon. 20 years old when he made his UFC debut. Now at 25, he is a bona fide UFC champion.
He's a bona fide UFC champion. He's one of the most exceptional champions we have because he's so intelligent and so talented and so good at utilizing his reach and movement. And and just creating the perfect distance where he can hit and not get hit. His endurance is fantastic, and that was a giant factor in their first fight. He really came on towards the third round, because in the first 2 rounds, Jose Aldo was getting the better of him. Jose Aldo said that his leg was injured in that fight, and that he's a different fighter coming into this fight, because he will be able to do what he does best, which is his leg kicks. Aldo is the greatest all-time featherweight champion, and if you see that combination there, that left hook to the body, right leg kick behind it, it's one of his best moves. He has just fought some of the best in the world and had spectacular results, and he's still young enough where we think that he could possibly do it again.
And Aldo's so excited that this opportunity materialized, golden opportunity for him tonight to try to put what happened in June firmly in the rearview mirror. All right, that brings us to this heavyweight co-main event, one of the most decorated to ever do it. Alistair Overeem taking on the future Francis Ngannou.
We don't know if he's the future, and Alistair doesn't think he is, and that's what makes this so interesting. Alistair Overeem is the most decorated striker in the history of the heavyweight division. K1 Grand Prix champion, Strikeforce heavyweight champion, a spectacular kickboxer who has had incredible success in MMA, and one of the most technical strikers you will ever see step into the octagon regardless of weight class. But this man is a freak. You want to talk about a giant human being. Natural 265 pounds, long arms, thunderous power. How hard? Oh, nothing, just the world record ever recorded for the hardest human punch. I mean, he is just a wrecking machine, and he believes that he has what it takes to rise to the top of the heap at the heavyweight division, and he has the opportunity tonight to face one of the biggest stars in the heavyweight division.
So Alistair Overeem's 60th professional fight here tonight. Longevity has been a strong suit, but tonight he takes on the Predator Francis Ngannou in the role of underdog. What a main card, 5 outstanding matchups, and they're all coming up. The rest of the card is brought to you by EA Sports UFC 3. Play the EA Sports UFC 3 Open Beta, available now until December 5th. Download for free on PlayStation 4 and Xbox One. And there is the former UFC lightweight champion, Eddie Alvarez. With 28 pro wins and 22 finishes, the man affectionately known as the Underground King will try to add to his well-built legacy tonight in what is a matchup for the ages against one of the consensus toughest men on the planet, fellow lightweight contender Justin Gaethje. His UFC debut was the fight and arguably the performance of the year, and moved him to a clean 18-0. Tonight, Gaethje looks to produce a win worthy of a title shot. Also coming your way tonight, Olympic gold medalist Henry Cejudo may just be getting going as a bona fide striker in MMA. Scary proposition for the rest of this flyweight division. Tonight in a fight initially slated for May of this year, he draws the surging Sergio Pettis. 4 straight wins and 6 of 7 overall. Have the 24-year-old within striking distance of his first crack at the 125-pound belt. But coming up next to kick off the main card, kickboxing whiz Tecia Torres is off to a 5-1 start in the UFC. She would like nothing more than another shot at the new champion, Thug Rose Namajunas. But first, Torres will have to get through the karate hottie Michelle Waterson, another lifelong martial artist who has had a penchant for finding submissions throughout her career. A big one at 115 pounds is straight ahead. All right, let's get you the rules of the Octagon. 3 judges score the bout. The bout duration is 3 5-minute rounds. For championship fights and all main events, we go 5 5-minute rounds. A 10-point must-scoring system is in effect. The round winner gets 10 points, his or her opponent 9 or fewer, and scoring is based on effective striking and grappling, followed by aggression and then Octagon control in that order. Also want to let you know the Michigan Department of Licensing has not adopted the new unified rules for 2017. Those select few changes not in effect here in Detroit. We do, though, have instant replay at our disposal if needed, but once instant replay is used, the fight cannot be restarted. All right, as we get ready for this pay-per-view opener, we will pull up the strawweight rankings brought to you by EA Sports UFC 3. Play the EA Sports UFC 3 Open Beta, available now until December 5th. Download for free on PlayStation 4 and Xbox One. So Tecia Torres, Michelle Waterson, 5 and 6 tonight. big chance in front of them to stamp themselves a contender.
A giant chance, and a really interesting stylistic matchup. Both of these women are excellent strikers. Both of them have traditional martial arts backgrounds, great kickboxing skills, and very good jiu-jitsu skills as well. This should be a lot of fun in a fun division.
Torres has twice fought the new champion, Rose Namajunas, would like nothing more than to make that a trilogy if she can win here tonight. And following the first finish of her UFC career this summer, Tecia Torres called for a fight with Michelle Waterson. Tonight she gets it, and of course the winner will have put herself in prime position. After a shakeup at the top of the division, all strawweight contenders are racing to make their case for a crack at the new champion, Rose Namajunas. For Tecia Torres and Michelle Waterson, that quest begins in earnest tonight as they square off in a pivotal meeting that will set the stage for 2018.
The division has a new champ, and there's new opportunities. Tonight I'm going to take my opportunity and impress myself and impress the world and get that title shot.
I just need to go out there and be myself, flow, have fun, and everything else will take care of itself.
A popular veteran who has shown the ability to end fights with her striking or jiu-jitsu, Michelle Waterson got off to a quick start in her UFC career with finishes of Angela Magana and Paige Van Zandt. And if the Albuquerque standout can issue that same fate to Torres tonight, she'll be looking for a rematch with Namajunas, and sooner rather than later.
With Rose beating Joanna, it really shakes up the division, so being able to pull off this victory will just get me right where I need to be.
1-1 in her 2 fights with the newly crowned champ Thug Rose, Tecia Torres is intent on securing a rubber match, but with championship stakes. And if her recent form and wins over Beck Rawlings and Juliana Lima is any indicator, the Tiny Tornado is evolving at a breakneck pace as 2017 comes to a close.
I believe that Michelle is a great opponent. It's a good matchup, but I think I'm going to be able to input my will wherever I want in this fight and take her out.
So here is the karate hottie Michelle Waterson making the walk for her 4th UFC appearance tonight, and she is fighting for her father-in-law, Javier. He was in a bad car accident. He is still in the hospital. High probability he won't walk again. Michelle was very emotional here during fight week. Big picture, though, when it comes to her career, she felt like she proved in that fight against Rose Namajunas that she can hang with the division's elite. She has put on some muscle, 2 pounds of muscle, and expects that that could pay dividends tonight against the Tiny Tornado.
Well, you know, she's only had 3 fights inside the octagon. The fights that she had outside the octagon were, you know, she had very good results, but she's finding her place. She's finding her place in this talent-stacked division. And she has 2 finishes inside the octagon by submission, the most impressive one being against Paige Van Zandt. And her last fight was a great fight against Rose Namajunas, but she came up short. So back to the drawing board, figure out what went wrong, learn from the mistakes, come back, and put on a more impressive performance tonight. That is her goal, and she has the perfect opponent to do so. A dangerous, talented person in front of her, Tecia Torres.
And given how strong this pay-per-view main card is, Michelle kind of liked the fact that this fight was flying under the radar a little bit. And she has had, and we've said this in the past, sort of a media load befitting a UFC champion. She has become a huge star and feels like that actually helps her, being super busy. She feels like she is a higher functioning human being. And the focus tonight is on some small details which she believes could make a huge difference in this fight, but also just letting the ability take over. You heard Eddie Alvarez talk a lot this week about not overanalyzing the game and overthinking every maneuver in there. Let your athleticism and your ability take over, and we'll see if Waterson can do that.
Clearly easier said than done.
Yes, yes. So here is the Jackson Wink staple, the karate hottie Michelle Waterson, former Invicta FC atomweight champion, trying to begin her UFC ascent tonight against Tecia Torres. Well, of the 26 fighters here during Fight Week in Detroit, it was hard to find one brimming with more confidence than the Tiny Tornado, Tecia Torres, number 5 in the world. She believes she is more athletic, faster, stronger, and more skilled going in there tonight as the favorite against Michelle Waterson.
Well, she's certainly very talented, and she has 1 loss in her MMA career, and that is to the current champion, Rose Namajunas. She is also a black belt in Taekwondo and a former world kickboxing champion, a 4-time world kickboxing champion. So what you see from her is tremendous traditional martial arts skills. You see, like, a great work rate. She throws punches and kicks at a tremendous pace, and she has excellent endurance as well.
And there she is with an embrace with her fiance, Raquel Pennington, a UFC bantamweight contender. And for Tecia Torres, well documented that she was studying for her master's degree throughout her UFC career. And when she fought Rose Namajunas at one point, she was doing final exams and cutting weight at the same time. Got the master's degree in May, accepted a short notice fight with Juliana Lima in July, her first finish as a pro mixed martial arts athlete. And tonight, she'll try to move to 6-1 here inside the octagon. We mentioned the fight with Rose Namajunas. That was April of 2016. Also had a win over Rose back in July of 2013. So the table is sort of set potentially for a third meeting. Of course, Tecia Torres has got to take care of business tonight against a very game karate hottie Michelle Waterson. All right, with that backdrop ready to go here with this strawweight opener, let's get to the tail of the tape for this one. Between the 28-year-old Tecia Torres and the 31-year-old Michelle Waterson. Waterson 2 inches taller. She will have a reach advantage of 1.5 inches. Now for the official introductions, we go to the veteran voice of the Octagon, Bruce Buffer.
Ladies and gentlemen, we are live from Little Caesars Arena in the Motor City, Detroit, Michigan. For UFC 218, Holloway versus Aldo 2. And now, this fight is 3 rounds in the UFC strawweight division. Introducing first, fighting out of the blue corner, a mixed martial artist holding a professional record, 14 wins, 5 losses. She stands 5 feet 3 inches tall, weighing in at 115 pounds. Fighting out of Albuquerque, New Mexico, presenting the number 6 ranked strawweight contender in the world, the Karate Hottie, Michelle Waterson. And now introducing her opponent, fighting out of the red corner, a kickboxer holding a professional record, 9 wins, 1 loss. She stands 5 feet 1 inch tall, weighing in at 116 pounds. Fighting out of Colorado Springs, Colorado, presenting the number 5 ranked strawweight contender in the world, Tecia, the Tiny Tornado Torres. And when the action begins, our referee in charge, Keith Peterson.
The no-nonsense Keith Peterson, our referee for this one. The beautiful Luciana Andrade with us here in Detroit, Michigan for one of the biggest cards of 2017, UFC 218. UFC 218. Holloway versus Aldo 2, presented in high definition by the Netflix film Bright, starring Will Smith and Joel Edgerton.
Are you ready?
Watch it on Netflix December 22nd. All right, here we go. Michelle Waterson in the white with black. Tecia Torres pressing forward.
Michelle right away with a left high kick.
First full training camp in Colorado for the former American Top Team product, Tecia Torres.
Beautiful job by Michelle Waterson. She got both hooks in. She got the back.
9 career wins by submission for Waterson coming in. And fighting now.
Yeah, Tecia did a great job of getting out of that position. And Michelle struggling to get her back. Nice knee to the body. A lot of Ric Flair fans in the crowd. Tecia with a good right hand over the top. Good combination there by Torres with the right hand. Torres pressing forward. Good kick to the body there by Michelle.
And a little cut now under the right eye of Tecia Torres.
Possibly from that left kick.
You see the physical maturation from Michelle Waterson. We mentioned putting on the muscle. It was clear on the scale yesterday.
And Torres as well.
Yeah, probably a good idea, right? I mean, she is as naturally cut as anyone in this division. 2 minutes have gone by here in round one of a possible three. This matchup initially supposed to go down at UFC 194 back in December of 2015. Waterson unable to go due to injury.
Good knee to the body, a couple good ones by Torres. And again, she's spinning her around here. Oh, good shots here. Good short elbow.
Torres fighting for that tie clinch. Knees and elbows from Tecia Torres early tonight.
Yeah, knees and elbows, and a tremendous job controlling this clinch. Good right hand there.
Head out to your neighborhood 7-Eleven and get a UFC branded Big Gulp for a chance to instantly win prizes. Under 2 minutes now to go, round one. Oh.
Get your fingers out of the back of the
Great
head.
work here by Tecia Torres. Oh, good shot here. Oh, and Michelle caught her with the left hand on the break. But Torres seems to be coming on strong here, John.
She's got that chin tucked as she presses forward.
And she has great fundamentals. Just such a classically trained striker.
Torres, a four-time world kickboxing champion in the amateur ranks. And perhaps Joanna Jędrzejczyk landing an American top team in South Florida was the beginning of the end for Torres there at ATT, but she really loves her new home and, of course, training full-time now and not worrying about final exams.
That is unbelievably impressive that she was fighting professionally while she was training for her master's. I mean, studying for her master's. That is just amazing. And it shows you what kind of a woman she is.
She really is.
And now she has Michelle pressed up against the cage. Michelle with the front leg side kick. She switched positions, John, and she will try to do that to be defensive. She's using that right jab now. She's trying to use that front leg. See, there it is with the side kick. Michelle will do that. She will go back to that traditional martial arts style of strong leg forward. And what she's trying to do is just keep this monster off her. This tiny tornado that's been punching her in the face for the last 5 minutes.
Torres thought about the late takedown. Now back to the well to that elbow.
By Torres. Heavy shots. Big round for Tecia Torres.
Raise your shot, hands high, stay low when you want to. You gotta follow up. Don't worry about throwing the first one hard, throw the second and third, okay? Nice and relaxed, baby. First shot, I don't think has to be hard.
She's trying to bully you, push you into the cage, okay? Don't, when you go with that overhand right, and that's the only time you're pulling back. Overhand right, head roll.
Yes, sir.
Not just the overhand right. You got it?
Michelle, anytime you're close, match this.
You do damage up against the cage. Anytime you guys are getting ready to separate, you do damage. You step back up. You're good at that, okay?
When you come in, all right, don't come in too high. Keep your punches low. All right, especially
breathe on the outside, okay?
Keep your punches out of the chest.
Raquel Pennington, Greg Jackson, respectively, working the corners of Michelle Waterson and Tecia Torres. Torres came in, at least statistically, with the best significant striking defense in the history of this strawweight division.
Ma'am, are you ready?
In the first round, what we saw is Torres just sort of overwhelming Michelle Waterson. You're seeing those high-level world championship kickboxing skills come into effect. And I think we're also seeing a Tecia Torres, as you alluded to before, that doesn't have something else that's occupying most of her time, like studying for her master's. I mean, it's just incredible. that she was able to compete at such a high level, the 9-1 record.
Right. And again, that only setback came during final exams, for whatever that's worth.
Right hand over the top. Michelle Waterson's getting tagged. Nice knee by Michelle.
Might have been her most significant strike of the fight to this point.
We're seeing a bit of swelling in the left eye of Michelle from that right hand from Torres.
Waterson trying to establish that jab here early round 2.
Nice knee to the body by Michelle. Oh, beautiful takedown by Waterson. And Torres rolls with it. Torres almost has her back, but Michelle winds up on top. Beautiful job. Fantastic takedown and great adjustment.
Couple early takedowns for Waterson. Torres so confident in her strength and her ability to get back up, but Waterson keeping her at bay here, at least for now.
Yeah, Michelle trying to step over that leg and achieve half guard. She's got it. And now she wants to try to move to a dominant position. She's got it a lot of time here, 3:20 to go. What she wants to do is free that right leg up. That right leg right now is trapped in between the two legs of Tecia Torres, but she's got to do it in a way where she's kind of hiding her movement so Torres doesn't explode and get back up to her feet, because Torres is so physically strong.
Potentially some valuable top position time, though, here for Waterson.
Most definitely. And look at this. Torres is kind of trying to grip a Kimura, but he's not really doing it right.
Watterson has been the more prolific finisher in terms of these women's careers, but Torres largely has fought the higher level competition.
Now she's got it. Now she's cinching it up. And she's going to use it to reverse the position. Torres is very physically strong. If she could pull that off. And nope. Michelle back on top. But Michelle finds herself back into full guard. Tecia did a really good job there defensively.
Waterson staying busy enough here for referee Keith Peterson. Under 2 now to go in round 2.
Now this isn't necessarily a position where you could sleep being on top, or rest rather. Remember in the GSP Bisping fight, Bisping did most of the damage when he was on the bottom with those elbows. All the cuts on GSP's face and what made it so difficult for him. The way she's going for those Kimuras, it doesn't look like she does that a lot, and it looks like a desperation thing. Now she's throwing her legs up. It looks like she's got a leg cleared over the shoulder from where I'm looking. Yep, she does. That's like 30% of the way to a triangle. But she's got to reach up with her hand and grab her left leg. She's got to grab that shin and slide it over the back of the neck of Michelle Waterson. But she's got one of the hardest parts, which is clearing the shoulder. Now she's a little bit better, but she's got to grab that shin with her hands. And Michelle recognizes it, so she's stepping down and putting all of her pressure on Tecia to try to break the grip of those legs. And she's being successful with that so far. But Tecia still has those little powerful legs wrapped around the neck. But now she's adjusting. Now she's grabbing the foot, but she really needs to grab the shin. You get a better grip on the shin and it doesn't move. And she might try to switch to an arm bar. She's going to, but she's not doing it the right way. She's gonna give up side control. She switched the arm the wrong way. But if she's so strong, she might be able to hold on to it. But what she's got to do, if she wants to do it in this way, she's got to have her head a total opposite side of the body. She just, yeah, that was kind of amateurish. But that's not her strong point. Her strong point is her striking.
But nearly 4 minutes of top position time for Waterson in that second round. Late takedown attempt from Torres.
Yeah, that's big for Michelle. That's big. And that probably won her that round.
Right.
I would imagine.
Slow deep breaths. In through your nose, out through your mouth, okay? Good job. Way to hold that. She's just trying to hold you down, okay? She's trying to get a position, and she couldn't get it, okay? Small movements. You buck up, you push that knee through, and you just keep guard. There's him. There's only 2 of us. Oh.
Okay. So make a little adjustment. When she comes in, like now you're running them straight. When she comes in low, start fucking running that uppercut up underneath. All right, so she doesn't come down and shoot it.
Set your takedown up behind your punches. Don't just shoot.
Yes, sir.
Yeah. Don't tense up. Just let him go the way you did.
Yes, sir.
Don't tense up. Just let him go. Hey, let him go. Let's win another round, Michelle.
When she comes to you, Varsity's there, all right?
Yes, sir.
All right, let's go. This is your round, Michelle. Tight inside. Combos inside.
Well, the 2017 slate closes with a showstopper from Las Vegas, December 30th at UFC 219. In the main event, the women's featherweight champion Chris Cyborg faces former bantamweight champion Holly Holm. It is UFC 219. It is December 30th, and it is only on pay-per-view. All right, third and final round here. A huge 5 minutes in the careers of Tecia Torres and Michelle Waterson. Torres with a 1-2 to open things here in round 3.
Yeah, that swelling is really increased on the left eye of Michelle Waterson. It looks pretty bad, and she keeps her hand touching it. It's probably bothering her quite a bit. And that was a big round for Michelle. Getting that takedown, maintaining top position for a significant amount of time.
Could very well be 19 apiece here going into this third and final round.
The thing about that was that when she did get her down, though, she didn't do a ton of damage. Big right hand over the top by Michelle. And Michelle, again, looking for the takedown. Now Ticia's turned around on her. If I was in Ticia's corner, I'd be screaming for her to separate.
Separate, right.
Don't risk getting held down like that, because you see when Tecia was trying to do things on the ground, but she is making some pretty critical, fundamental mistakes in terms of like when she went for that arm bar, she had her position completely wrong.
Right. Both fighters Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu blue belts, but Waterson a far more active pursuer of submissions in MMA. Right hand over the top is true for Torres.
Watch your head.
We continue to monitor that left eye of Michelle Waterson. Waterson, the former atomweight, really holding her own in the strength department with Tecia Torres, perhaps to the surprise of some. 3 minutes now to go in the fight.
Right hand over the top by Michelle. Michelle keeps going to the well. Oh, went to the high kick with the left leg. Elbow by Torres. Oh, Torres with a big left hand, a big right hand.
Torres bullying Waterson a little bit in the clinch. Now some separation.
Michelle's really having a problem with that left eye.
A couple times she's tried to catch Tecia with that lead elbow coming in. Torres not pressing forward with that reckless abandon that we saw in round 1. Shouldn't call it reckless, I guess. 2 minutes now to go.
Yeah. Nice kick to the body by Torres. Good jab.
Big deep breaths from Michelle Waterson here down the stretch.
Yeah, she appears to be the more fatigued. Big shot there. Good up kick by Michelle. And Torres inexplicably grabs her. Oh, she's dragging her to the ground. Wow, she's taking her back, but she's way too high. Way too high on the back. She could slip off. She's trying to adjust, but in order to adjust, she's got to do leg curls with her left leg, grab the back of the thigh of Michelle Waterson and pull herself up. She's doing that now, using those underhooks that she's got and scooting her hips backwards. She's much better now, much better now. She'd like to get a little bit further back, though, because she still might get shook off, and she's gonna. She's gonna get shook off the top. The only thing that's keeping her on here is she's standing on her head. There she goes. Nice. Good job. She's got her completely flattened out now. Oh, big shots.
Watterson in a world of trouble here.
Watterson is in deep, deep trouble. This could be it.
He might stop this fight here soon, Joe.
And especially if Tisha could get to the other side and attack that left eye that's already badly swollen. She's still on her back here. Michelle's gonna spin. She's gonna wind up in Tisha's guard. And she's on top.
Well, impressive stuff from Watterson to hear this final horn, but a big third round. At least the last 2 minutes for the Tiny Tornado. Tisha Torres, who clips Watterson at the horn. Great fight between two elite strawweights there. Sometimes it is a chess match when it comes to the real elite fighters in the game, but Torres rallied after a tough second round. We'll see if she has done enough. This fight replay is brought to you by Budweiser. This Bud's for you.
And when you see an exhausted Michelle Watterson at the end of the fight, you really appreciate the conditioning of Tisha Torres. And here you see Torres coming on strong. Just tremendous work output. Right hand over the top by Torres. And there's a beautiful takedown by Michelle, and that really got her that second round. You see Torres with a left right, and this was the big moment of the fight. Torres on top, just smashing her. And it came very close to stopping the fight, but she survived to the buzzer.
Well, Michelle Watterson is welted and she is swollen. Gets some nice respect there from the bantamweight contender, Raquel Pennington. How about the look in Tisha Torres' eye? She is hopeful that the judges have seen this fight her way. 7th UFC appearance for Tisha Torres against the 11-year pro Michelle Watterson. Only one fighter figures to leave here, still in the immediate mix at 115 pounds. The official decision is brought to you by Metro PCS, who brings you closer than ever to the UFC on a fast nationwide 4G LTE network. Here is Bruce Buffer.
Ladies and gentlemen, after 3 rounds, we go to the judges' scorecards for a decision. The judges score the contest 30-27, 29-28, and 29-28 for the winner by unanimous decision, Tisha the Tiny Tornado Torres.
I'm here with the winner, Tisha Torres. Tisha, congratulations. Outstanding performance against one of the top contenders in the division. And, you know, what I was impressed by the most, I was impressed by a lot of things, but your conditioning was just incredible.
Thank you. Yeah, I really feel great in this fight camp. My first fight camp with my Colorado team, and I really think they've made me evolve as a fighter.
Now, was there anything that surprised you about this fight? You knew Michelle had a traditional karate style. Was there anything surprising at all?
Yeah, that she boxed me the whole time, and so did I, and that she fought orthodox the whole time. I was expecting her to fight southpaw.
There was only one moment in the fight where it looked like you could have had her. When you had her on the ground, you had her back, it looked very close to stopping the fight. Did you think it was going to be stopped?
Possibly. If I had some more time, I think I could have stopped it. But I'm getting closer and closer to what I want, so I'm really happy with my performance tonight.
Closer and closer indeed. You really have emerged as one of the top contenders in this division. Congratulations on an outstanding performance. Tisha Torres, ladies and gentlemen.
The Fall River, Massachusetts born Tisha Torres came in number 5 in the world, now 10-1 overall, and a shiny 6-1 inside the octagon as we go inside the numbers for this one. Significant head strikes, decided advantage for the Tiny Tornado, 80-18. 2 takedowns for Watterson, a lot of top position time, but a strong answer from Torres in round 3 as she gets it done tonight here in Detroit, Michigan. A lot of stars out tonight. There he is, the former UFC Bantamweight champion. Cody No Love Garbrandt is with us tonight. Also on hand, how about it? The 4-time Stanley Cup champion with the Detroit Red Wings, Darren McCarty, getting a nice pop from the Detroit faithful here tonight. UFC 218, Holloway versus Aldo 2 is brought to you by Budweiser. This Bud's for you. By your neighborhood 7-Eleven. Get a UFC-branded Big Gulp for a chance to instantly win prizes. And by EA Sports UFC 3. Play the EA Sports UFC 3 Open Beta, available now until December 5th. Download for free on PlayStation 4 and Xbox One. The EA Sports UFC 3 Open Beta is available now until December 5th. Download it for free on PlayStation 4 and Xbox One. Here's a sneak peek at the game. All right, so as we get ready for what Joe Rogan has aptly coined it, guaranteed chaos, we show you what's at stake here. Number 5 versus number 4 at 155 pounds in a division that has 2 belt holders right now, but Justin Gaethje and Eddie Alvarez are on their heels.
Pretty crazy that Justin Gaethje is number 5 with 1 fight in the octagon.
Right.
I mean, it just shows you how highly regarded he is coming into this fight with an undefeated record, and he's the favorite, which is even more crazy because he's fighting the former champion in Eddie Alvarez, who is tailor-made for a great fight.
Yep.
How it will play out is what makes this so exciting, and I have no idea.
And we're not going to make you wait much longer. His UFC debut, of course, was the stuff of legends. That performance led to this matchup with the former champion Eddie Alvarez. So tonight, with much fanfare, Justin Gaethje returns.
A lot of hard work, a lot of skill, and a little bit of luck. That's why I'm undefeated. No matter who gets locked in that octagon with me is in for the fight of their life. A win over Eddie Alvarez is huge. I owe it to myself, I owe it to my family, and I owe it to the UFC to go out there and perform.
Me versus Justin Gaethje is the #1 fight in the lightweight division today. A guy like Justin, he'll make me wake up early, he'll make me go to bed late. That little tiny bit of fear goes a long way.
I know Eddie Alvarez is scared of me. That's why I know he's going to come at me with such intensity. He needs to knock me out in the first 2 rounds. Or 3rd round is going to be a very, very hard round for Eddie Alvarez.
I want to win this fight by way of knockout or by choking his neck. One of the two. And I'll be crowned the most violent man in the lightweight division.
The fight between Justin Gaethje and Eddie Alvarez is a fighter's fight.
Eddie Alvarez brought it on!
They fight with this hard-nosed, never-say-die attitude, particularly Justin Gaethje.
Gaethje, constant forward pressure, it's all he knows. This is his style of fight, man, in your face. This is just the only way Gaethje knows how to fight, non-stop. Oh! Big uppercut again, and it's Gaethje's moment. Can Johnson survive?
Gaethje is a monster, and he's one of the best 155-pounders in the world.
I've been where Justin is. I understand his path. He fights a different sort of style. You kind of got to get down and dirty and get in the thick of things in order to be prepared for a fight with a guy like Justin Gaethje, so I'm just that guy.
I am a fan of Eddie Alvarez. I love the way he fights, but now he's my enemy, and I have no remorse for taking everything that he's ever worked for in his life. Taking everything he's trying to give his family is going to become mine.
I respect him as an opponent. He can compete with the best guys in the world, but there'll be no one, not Justin Gaethje or anyone in this lightweight division, who can deal with what I'm going to bring.
I want to be Eddie Alvarez. I want to put America on my back. There will be a time where you see Eddie Alvarez's face change from trying to kill me to trying to survive. I don't know if I'm going to win or lose, don't care if I'm going to win or lose, but I'll be there and I will be fighting for my life.
I want to dominate Justin Gaethje in the center of the octagon, stand over him, and declare myself the winner. I want to get the belt back and enjoy the world title again.
Oh my goodness, I can't take it. This is here. It's happening. Here we go, folks.
So here is Justin Gaethje. 18 opponents have tried, 18 have failed. He is 18-0. He won a major title outside the UFC, successfully defended it 5 times, and of course his UFC debut against Michael Johnson. With respect to Yancy Medeiros and Alex Oliveira, which we saw earlier tonight, this is the front runner for Fight of the Year.
Oh yeah, it's up there. I mean, it's up there. I think Yancy and Oliveira might have beat him tonight, but God, what a fight this was. I mean, a tremendous back and forth fight, but ultimately Gaethje won this fight with something that I think is going to be, well, he won it with a lot of technique, but one factor that I think is going to be a big factor tonight, and that is the leg kicks. We saw in Eddie Alvarez's debut against Donald Cerrone, he had a real problem with Donald's leg kicks, and Gaethje is a master at that. A master, particularly with that left leg. He gets you in these brawling exchanges and chops your legs apart, and he is brutal at it. And he has Trevor Whitman in his corner, who's an outstanding strike coach, that man right there, who obviously trained Rose Namajunas as well, and many, many other great fighters. So he's well-trained, and a lot of people forget that both of these guys have a great wrestling pedigree as well. And that's a big factor.
Gaethje grew up wrestling, Division I All-American back in 2010, repping the University of Northern Colorado, and I'm glad you brought it up because not a lot of people do. He left with $100,000 in bonus money after that UFC debut victory over Michael Johnson, and this entire team has been buoyed by what Rose Namajunas was able to do against Joanna Jędrzejczyk last month. You saw the video of Gaethje brought to tears. It went viral after seeing his teammate come through, and a lot of it has to do with the belief in these coaches. I feel like the Gaethje-Whitman dynamic is a powerful 1-2 punch, and Gaethje will try to keep it going here tonight.
And I think Gaethje is the perfect student for the style that Trevor Whitman teaches. He teaches a blood and guts style. He teaches an attacking, marauding style. And Gaethje just absorbs that. I mean, that is him.
7-0 as an amateur, 18-0 as a pro, but his consensus stiffest test to date comes tonight against the former champion, Eddie Alvarez. So here he is, the underground king, the former UFC lightweight champion, Eddie Alvarez, 7th UFC appearance, 35th professional fight overall, and this matchup has really rejuvenated Alvarez.
This is what Alvarez needs. This is the type of fight that Alvarez needs to get him, as he said, up early and go to bed late, working harder than ever. And you see it in his physical frame. His body looks fantastic. When he was weighing in yesterday, you can see, like, this guy is in tremendous shape. He looks focused. He looks intense, and he knows the significance of this fight. I mean, this is a gigantic fight for him, and it's not just a gigantic fight for him because of the rankings, but also because he's facing a guy who has massive amounts of hype on him.
Alvarez's career, at least over the last 10 years, it's been predominantly 5-round fights, and he said this training camp was just more enjoyable, much less wear and tear on the body. You know, for Mark Henry, Ricardo Almeida, when they're training for a 5-rounder, they peak at 6 5-minute, 15-second rounds, and it's a different ballgame training for 3. Eddie feels like he can go hard tonight. They're not exactly sure what to expect with Justin Gaethje, so again, I just can't wait to see how the first couple minutes of this fight play out.
I don't know what to expect from either guy in terms of their approach.
Alvarez says he's never really fought out of want until recently. He was a prize fighter for a lot of years, fighting to support his family. Now with money in the bank, he returns here against Justin Gaethje. All right, here it is, folks. Let's get to the tail of the tape. For this matchup of lightweight contenders, Eddie Alvarez 33, Justin Gaethje 29. Gaethje, the taller man by 2 inches. He will have a 1-inch reach advantage. All right, now for the introductions, we go inside to Bruce Buffer.
Ladies and gentlemen, this fight is 3 rounds in the UFC lightweight division. Introducing first, fighting out of the blue corner, a mixed martial artist holding an undefeated professional record, 18 wins, no losses. He stands 5 feet 11 inches tall, weighing in at 156 pounds. Fighting out of Arvada, Colorado, by way of Sanford, Arizona, presenting the number 5 ranked lightweight contender in the world, Justin the Highlight Gaethje. And now introducing his opponent, fighting out out of the red corner, a freestyle fighter holding a professional record, 28 wins, 5 losses, 1 no contest. He stands 5 feet 9 inches tall, weighing in at 155 pounds. Fighting out of Philadelphia, Pennsylvania, presenting the former UFC lightweight champion and the #4 ranked lightweight contender in the world, the Underground King, Eddie Alvarez. And when the action begins, our referee in charge, Herb Dean.
No instructions, guys.
Thank you, Ashley. Round 1 is here. Eddie Alvarez and Justin Gaethje. And with that touch of gloves, we are underway, and Gaethje opens with that patented leg kick, Joe.
Right away, and I knew it. That's going to be a big factor in this fight. Gaethje is very good at landing leg kicks, and Alvarez is not so good at blocking them.
Gaethje with a right hand over the top. Eddie lands an uppercut. Gaethje smiles it off. Oof.
Eddie's immediately suffering the effects of those leg kicks. Gaethje looking for that right hand over the top. There's another leg kick. See how he covers up in the exchanges and lands those shots. And again.
Pretty good 1-2 from Eddie. 8 a counter from Gaethje.
Eddie with a leg kick of his own. And a good right hand over the top by Alvarez.
Pretty good head movement there by the former champion. Well, head out to your neighborhood 7-Eleven and get a UFC-branded Big Gulp for a chance to instantly win prizes.
Good discipline there by Alvarez, not throwing that kick when he was down. Alvarez looks very calm in there, very composed.
He has been there and done that, a pro dating to 2003.
Good jab by Alvarez as well. But these are good exchanges with both men landing.
Alvarez switching up the footwork.
Oh, there it goes. It's already given out. That leg kick was big. And that's going to hamper the movement of Eddie Alvarez. You're already seeing a lot of redness on that left leg, and that last kick made him buckle. That takes away a lot of the punching power of Eddie Alvarez as well.
3 minutes here to go in round 1.
Yeah, he's having a hard time with that leg, and it's given out again. Because when he's throwing punches with his right hand, you've seen his left leg give out a little bit.
Gaethje feints. 2 supremely conditioned athletes here as well.
Oh, man.
Already some appreciable damage on that lead leg of Eddie Alvarez.
Yeah, not just damage in the way you're looking at it, but damaging the way you're seeing him move. He's struggling with that leg right now. And there it goes again. This time he took him down, and Gaethje right back up.
Gaethje sort of shucks Alvarez off there. Beautiful rip to the body by Alvarez.
And a good left hook by Gaethje.
Straight right lands cleanly for Alvarez. Under 2 minutes here to go, round 1.
Good shots to the body by Alvarez. Gaethje's having some bleeding on his nose.
Yeah.
Good shot to the body again by Alvarez.
It's a pretty significant cut around that left eye for Gaethje.
And another good shot to the body. Alvarez doing good work with those body punches. Again, Alvarez goes to the body and the left hook up top.
Alvarez finding his range here early.
Oh, good shots by Gaethje.
Eddie with the Dikembe Mutombo to the crowd. About a minute to go here, round 1.
Good shots to the body by Alvarez with a left hook up top.
He's putting it on Gaethje a little bit here late in the first round.
Yeah, I think the body punches were a big part of this turnaround here. Faked the takedown there. Got Gaethje to flinch. Again, ripping those shots to the body. Oh!
Under 30 seconds to go in the round. Some definite early adversity here for the unbeaten Justin Gaethje. Passed his first UFC test against Michael Johnson this summer.
Good head movement by Alvarez. You've seen improvements in his defense here. And there's that leg kick again.
Alvarez with a little showmanship there down the stretch of round one. He's got to feel pretty good about those first 5 minutes.
Coach, I gotta jump out. Yeah.
And this is something that we suspected, that the leg kicks of Justin Gaethje were going to be a big factor in this fight. And you see that leg buckle. But then you see Eddie Alvarez come back with that rip to the body right there. Many body punches. He really found a home for those punches. Started landing good shots upstairs
He's
because
not
of it.
defending the shot. He's only stepping a half step back. You gotta hit that 31 and run with it. All right? When he calls for the blue, you gotta run with it.
Go into that body. When you go body, don't.
You crazy. Here you go. Drink. Take a look.
Who won that one?
It's close round.
I thought you won, but it's close. Here we go. Keep breaking.
Close first round. Both guys had their moments. Surprised at all that they didn't put any ice on that leg of Alvarez, or is that not necessarily required?
I am surprised.
Just ask.
But I wasn't looking,
okay.
to be honest. I was paying attention to Gaethje's corner.
Let's fight.
All right, here we go, round two. Gaethje in white, Eddie Alvarez in black.
Opened up with a leg kick of his own. Oh, he ate that one. Eddie's moving much better now. He seems to have recovered from those shots.
Ooh. Hook follows up the body shot for Alvarez. He's having fun in there.
Yeah, good punches there by Alvarez. He does look very relaxed in there. Not nearly as tense as we've seen him in some fights. There's a good leg kick by Alvarez. And again, going to the body, but this time Gaethje blocked a couple of those. Good jab by Gaethje. Again with that leg kick.
Yeah, Alvarez loads up on the uppercut and pays for it in his lower half.
Good right hand by Eddie Alvarez. We're seeing an Eddie Alvarez that's playing in there. He's having more fun. Ooh, right hand over the top by Gaethje. Caught him at the end of it. Good 1-2.
Alvarez with the
good left hand by Alvarez. He's being creative in there too. Good uppercuts by Gaethje.
Gaethje just missed on that left hand to close out the combination. Alvarez doubles up on the uppercut. Mark Henry hit Ricardo Almeida in the corner of Eddie Alvarez.
Eddie's bombing that jab, Eddie. Bump the jab at the end. Bump the jab at the end. Double the three. Bump the jab at the end of the combo. Yeah. Bump the jab at the end. Heads up two. Yeah. Again.
Get out.
Fly 62.
Get out up there.
Pop.
There we go. Dip.
Eddie, fly.
Ray Robinson also in the corner of the Underground King.
Ooh. He's just more creative and loose in there, it seems, but Gaethje's still coming on strong. And those body shots are big. Every time he lands those, it stops Gaethje. There's a beautiful leg kick by Gaethje. Gaethje fires a right hand.
Yeah, crisp right for Gaethje, but he is breathing deeply here midway through round two.
We're seeing a less available to hit Eddie Alvarez.
Yeah, it's a good way to put it.
Just more movement like there. And then a nice knee to the body by Gaethje. He's just more elusive.
And Alvarez has been the busier fighter, albeit slightly. A lot of punches being thrown by both guys.
Nice knee to the body by Alvarez. And moves away from those shots. Look at this. Like perfect head movement by Alvarez. Nice leg, but that was checked.
Alvarez is
big shots to the body by Alvarez.
And those got Gaethje's attention. Right back to it goes Alvarez.
Alvarez tearing that body up.
Gaethje still content to just hang in that pocket and trade.
Oh! Big left hook. Oh! There's that leg kick. Beautiful chopping leg kick by Gaethje. And again.
Any chance raining down here from the Detroit, Michigan
And he
crowd?
switched legs. He switched stances briefly. That means it's hurting him. Don't think Gaethje didn't notice that.
Right. Knee to the body from Gaethje after 3 uppercuts landed for Alvarez. How about the output from Eddie Alvarez tonight? 250 strikes thrown thus far.
Good uppercut there by Alvarez. Right hand over the top by Gaethje. There's some significant swelling in the face of Eddie Alvarez. You see it on the right side?
Oh, wow.
And it happened quick.
Unusual place to see swelling, too.
Rips to the body by Alvarez. Well, that swelling is rising, too.
Maybe a slip from Gaethje, and he eats a big knee from Alvarez. 10 minutes down.
Look at the swelling. I mean, that's crazy. They better get some ice on that, some end swell immediately.
Right hand up after you throw it. Beat it with an inside double three. Start going to the body. Look at me. Look at me now. Keep your hands up opposite hand when you throw. Go goes again. You understand? He's fine. He's fine. Listen, that jab is killing him.
Yeah, you gotta steal that jab.
Listen, pops are gonna win you this fight. Throw, pop, throw. Throw, pop, throw. When he misses, I want a 3-punch counter. You understand what I'm saying? If he kicks, come in on the dang thing. You're doing
Mark
it.
Henry's
you gotta keep
fired
moving
up.
your feet.
He wants this one.
Look at this, jab, jab. Justin Gaethje eating those shots to the body. Alvarez just all over the body shots here. Boom. Gaethje with a takedown attempt. Fell down, and then Eddie caught him with that kick. Totally legal.
Third and final round. Eddie Alvarez and Justin Gaethje. As anticipated as any fight really in 2017. And the cut man did immediately try to limit the swelling on that cheek of Eddie Alvarez.
Alvarez is doing a great job of being unpredictable, feinting. There's that front kick, nice inside leg kick by Gaethje. Good jab. And another one. They're both fighters throwing good jabs there.
This entire fight has been contested on the feet.
Oh, he chopped him hard with that one. Chopped him real hard. There's a lot of swelling on that left leg now. It's starting to bubble up. And he ate that one too. He switched stance to southpaw, but as soon as he went back to orthodox, Gaethje attacked that leg again.
And perhaps Alvarez will try to take Justin Gaethje down. Easier said than done.
Again.
Looked like Eddie tried to pull guard.
He tried to pull guard. That leg is giving out on him. That leg is seriously damaged, and that's why he's fighting southpaw here.
Well,
his leg is completely wobbled.
You thought it was the biggest factor in the fight. Proving prophetic here. About a minute gone by round 3.
So Eddie's going to try to recover, and then once he recovers, now he's going back to orthodox, but he's taking a big chance. I don't know how many of those leg kicks he can take, and he eats one.
What an absolute war as advertised.
Nice knee to the body by Alvarez. Engaging with the left kick now. Oh, he chopped it again. He does such a good job in the clinch of throwing that kick. Eddie's leg is chewed up. Oh, again. Check that one.
Wayward spinning attempt from Alvarez.
Look at this, Eddie's got his back. And Eddie dragged him to the ground. Eddie, a brown belt in Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu.
Gaethje slips out as we approach the midpoint of this third and final round. Oh,
another one and another one. Just killing that left leg. Uppercut by Gaethje.
That one got Eddie's attention. Just fearless, standing inside that pocket. Oh!
Eddie Alvarez is an animal. I mean, he just keeps eating those leg kicks. A lesser man would have been down a long time ago from those.
Gaethje just continues to eat uppercuts without much issue. Crowd oohing and eyeing with every strike thrown here down the stretch.
Putting a lot of pressure on Gaethje here.
Gaethje with no interest in taking this fight down. 90 seconds now to go. Crisp left hand from Alvarez, now a shot, nothing doing.
What a fight. This fight is so crazy.
Alvarez a little wobbly after the back-to-back uppercuts.
And who knows how much of it is exhaustion, the left leg giving out.
Yeah. Oh! Down goes Gaethje! Gaethje might be out!
That's it!
That is it! The Underground King, Eddie Alvarez!
Unbelievable! Gaethje's trying to get up, and he's out of it.
Gaethje not exactly sure what happened. Eddie Alvarez happened tonight. Incredible.
What a fight. Gaethje does not know what happened. Wow. Just wow.
So Eddie Alvarez, as the underdog tonight, bounces Justin Gaethje from the ranks of the unbeaten. And the Eddie chants throughout this Little Caesars Arena. This fight replay brought to you by Budweiser. This Bud's for you.
Here, Eddie Alvarez grabs him, boom! Perfectly placed knee. And he immediately just lifts his arms because he thought the fight was over. And Herb Dean tries to rescue him, but if you could watch Justin Gaethje trying to get up, I mean, he was gone. Stay with it here and watch as he tries to get up. I mean, he is gone. He's gone.
Wow.
Beautiful stoppage by Eddie Alvarez.
The huge
one more
knee.
time. Boom!
Well, Justin Gaethje asked the question, where is my equal? Eddie Alvarez was certainly that and then some tonight. And what a moment in the corner. Mark Henry, Ricardo Almeida, Ray Robinson. Eddie Alvarez adds to the legend here tonight in a career that really didn't have much left to accomplish. He stops Justin Gaethje in his tracks tonight in a fight for the ages. Eddie Alvarez at 33 years old, never any enhancement. That is a unique athlete, and you can be sure Justin Gaethje will be back. But the official decision now brought to you by Metro PCS, who brings you closer than ever to the UFC on a fast nationwide 4G LTE network. Here is Bruce Buffer.
Ladies and gentlemen, referee Herb Dean has called a stop to this contest at 3 minutes, 59 seconds of the third round. Declaring the winner by TKO, the Underground King, Eddie Alvarez.
How about a round of applause for both of these fighters? What a fight. Eddie Alvarez, you came into this fight looking for the title of the most violent man in the UFC. I think you got it.
It's the only one I care about right now. Yeah, there's intermittent titles, there's other titles that aren't being defended. All the fans want to see is who's the most violent guy in here. That's all you guys want to see.
Eddie, this is a tremendous fight with so much back and forth, but a big factor had to be your left leg. He landed a lot of leg kicks. How much was that bothering you in the fight?
It was starting to bug me. If this was a 5-rounder, I would have needed to finish that in the third, because 4 and 5 would have been tough for me, but I trained with a lot of my training partners going southpaw, so I was able to resort to that.
Another big factor seemed to be your shots to the body. Once you started really landing to the body, it really started slowing him down.
Yeah, I had a couple training partners. It's tough to spar and get ready for Justin Gaethje. He puts you in a fight every time. So I needed my training partners to come after me, and that's what they did, and I realized the body was the best way to take care of that.
Well, let's take a look at the end of the fight, Eddie, because it was a back-and-forth war until this moment in the third round. You landed this picture-perfect knee, and you just raised your arms. You knew it was over.
It's not me. I trust my instincts, but every single day I'm training with Coach Mark Henry, Ray Robinson, and Ricardo Almeida. They're my instincts, these guys.
Congratulations on an absolutely spectacular fight. Eddie Alvarez, ladies and gentlemen.
And what else can you say about the Hall of Fame career? And there is his wife, the proud mother of 4. Daddy's coming home with another monumental victory, the 29th of his illustrious career. Tonight's champions in the crowd brought to you by Budweiser. This Bud's for you. There he is. The as yet only UFC men's flyweight champion, Demetrius Johnson. And there, of course, the UFC welterweight champion, Tyron Woodley. Showtime Pettis, San Albi in the building as well. The Motown phenom Kevin Lee in his hometown here tonight. All right, well, tough act to follow, but they will try. Coming up next, a flyweight title eliminator between Henry Cejudo and Sergio Pettis, brought to you by EA Sports UFC 3. Play the EA Sports UFC 3 open beta, available now until December 5th. Download for free on PlayStation 4 and Xbox One. And of course, 1 week from tonight, the spotlight will center on featherweight contenders Cub Swanson and Brian Ortega. Fresno, California's getting a good one.
I'm the first person in UFC history to have 4 consecutive third-round finishes. My objective is to get in there and finish you at all costs. When I first jumped in the UFC, I got thrown nothing but big names. I fought Tavares, I fought Diego Brandao, Renato Moicano, Clay Guida. My next fight is against Cub Swanson. This is the biggest fight of my life. This is a guy who fought the best of the best. I joined this sport to become a champion. If you want to cross to the other side, you got to go through a guy like Cub.
Brian Ortega is just another up-and-comer that thinks he's going to take my spot. It's not going to happen. The last person I let slip through was Max Holloway. Now he's the champ. It's not going to happen again. I think it's a great matchup for me. Brian Ortega's got good stand-up, got good jiu-jitsu. He's undefeated. It's a great opportunity to go out there as a headliner and shine.
I'm ready to go in there and have a war with Cub. This is just my time now. This is my time, I can feel it. We gotta steal each other's light in order to get to the top.
I'm gonna go out there and just be the beautiful destruction.
Cub just brings chaotic fights. He brings things that you can't figure out.
Beautiful shot by Cub Swanson. Cub tagged him. What a fight! Congratulations on winning one of the best fights I've ever seen in my life.
The losses he has are all my strengths, which is submission. This is what I call a perfect matchup. 2 guys who like to bang it out, give the fans a war, but at the end, I'm the one that has a better advantage because I'm the one looking for the kill. May the best Californian win.
Every time I visualize this fight, I just see me hitting him in the face over and over and over. I know he can take it, and I can dish it. I want to take him out.
That is going to be a fun fight. And what a division. I mean, so talent-stacked. And Cub Swanson is so creative and unorthodox, but has skills in all areas. Has outstanding boxing, excellent jiu-jitsu. He's a black belt, but Brian Ortega has some of the slickest Brazilian jiu-jitsu I've ever seen inside the octagon. He finishes things so quick, and his guard is second to none. I'm telling you, this kid's guard is one of the best guards I've ever seen in MMA. This is going to be a really, really fun fight.
And T-City certainly deserving of his first UFC headliner. It comes against the new father, Killer Cub Swanson. And here's a look at the rest of the main card coming your way 1 week from tonight on FS1. Mississippi Mean Jason Knight is back against Gabriel Mowgli Benitez. Marlon Moraes stepping up on short notice against Aljamain Sterling in a matchup of top 8 bantamweights there. Scott Holtzman against a very tough Darrell Horcher. On it goes. We are loaded 1 week from tonight. You can see it all on FS1. All right, well, as we get ready for our next fight, we call on the UFC Flyweight Rankings, brought to you by EA Sports UFC 3. Play the EA Sports UFC 3 open beta, available now until December 5th. Download for free on PlayStation 4 and Xbox One. So, Joe, not pictured here is the UFC Bantamweight champion, TJ Dillashaw. He wants to drop down and challenge DJ for the title. Tonight's winner, though, between Cejudo and Pettis, could conceivably be next for Demetrius.
They certainly could. I mean, Henry Cejudo looked so improved in his last fight against Wilson Hayes. I mean, he looked like a young Lyoto Machida. It was bizarre.
Yeah.
And Sergio Pettis is a young man that is years away from his prime. And I think you see more and more composure and more maturity from him every time you see him challenge inside the octagon. And I think tonight will be his biggest challenge against the former Olympic gold medalist.
Pettis made his pro debut at 18 years old. Tonight, he'll try to make it 5 straight against the prohibitive favorite, Henry Cejudo. Well, after a 4-year education in the octagon, Sergio Pettis is ready for prime time tonight. That equates to a showdown with Olympic gold medalist Henry Cejudo. The flyweight division is packed with talented hopefuls angling for a shot at UFC champion Demetrius Johnson. And tonight, it's Henry Cejudo and Sergio Pettis' turn to make their case as the next man to challenge Mighty Mouse for the title.
Let the best man win. I think I have the abilities to dethrone the champ, Demetrius Johnson. I think Sergio's in my way, and I'm here to take him out.
I feel Henry Cejudo is standing between me and a title shot. Tonight I need to go out there and finish him.
At 24 years old, Sergio Pettis is still young in his MMA career. But with more than 4 years on the UFC roster, this Milwaukee native has gone from phenom to contender. And with 4 consecutive wins to his credit, Pettis is on a fast track to the top.
Detroit is in for a great fight, man. I'm close to home. I got all of my family and friends supporting me, and I just feel comfortable. This is going to be my night. I know this is my route.
Henry Cejudo hit the top of the wrestling world in 2008 when he struck Olympic gold for the United States. But after his recent knockout of Wilson Hayes in September, it is clear opponents must now respect the striking of the messenger, who has quickly become one of the division's most dangerous on the feet.
You're not just being a wrestler and dominating the fight, it's being able to clinch, being able to strike, being able to submit. And against a guy like Sergio Pettis, I'm going to need all those tools and all those weapons, so I'm looking forward to tonight.
So here is the 24-year-old Sergio Pettis. He has vaulted to number 4 in the world on the strength of a main event victory over Brandon Moreno, which, by the way, was 25 minutes at altitude in Mexico City. He dealt with the early adversity, had to fend off a choke, and then largely had his way with Moreno the rest of the fight. That is a tremendous source of confidence as he steps up to the plate against Cejudo tonight.
It certainly is, and I think the victory over John Moraga before that was also very, very impressive. Moraga, a former world title challenger and a guy who rocked Demetrius Mighty Mouse Johnson in his world title fight. Sergio Pettis is coming into his own, and as we alluded to earlier, he's only 24 years old. This kid is years and years away from his prime. I mean, not even close. So what we're seeing is a young man in the middle of his journey. He's in the middle of the process of stepping up to becoming one of the best flyweights in the world.
And one of his primary training partners, Chico Camus, former victim of Henry Cejudo. So an inside look there from Camus. And Pettis also wanted to shout out the Montini High School Broncos wrestling team, whom he really leaned on to try to get ready for Cejudo here tonight. But Sparkly 7-2 for Pettis in the UFC thus far. This is a kid who made his amateur debut at 15, had a head kick knockout of a 22-year-old, and as you mentioned, he's just getting started. Very conditioned athlete, takes his craft seriously, but tonight, in the role of underdog, not that far from home, he will try to be the first other than Demetrius Johnson to solve the puzzle. That is Henry Cejudo. Benavidez, of course, with a win over Henry as well. Well, in 2008, he was the Olympic gold medalist in freestyle wrestling. He does not like being number 2. He says he perseverates over Demetrius Johnson, thinks about him all the time. And tonight, if he can get by Sergio Pettis, he might get another crack at the undisputed champ.
It's hard to imagine that he wouldn't think about him all the time because Demetrius Johnson ran right through him like a hot butter knife.
Right.
So you got to wonder. You got to wonder where Cejudo is mentally at this stage of his career. And when you know the kind of guy that Cejudo is, you know that he has a fury inside of him. He is so unbelievably dedicated and focused that a loss to someone like Mighty Mouse probably made him a far better fighter than the subsequent loss to Joseph Benavidez, who is one of the very best flyweights in the world. Was a very, very close fight and a very disputed decision. A lot of people thought it could have gone either way. What we saw, though, in the Wilson-Hayes fight was almost like a totally different guy.
Yes.
The way he was moving was different, the style, the approach was different, and the result was spectacular. I'm very interested to see how he's going to fight Sergio Pettis. Sergio Pettis is a classically trained striker. Under the tutelage of the great Duke Rufus, was one of the best striking coaches in MMA. Sergio also has a traditional martial arts background as well in Taekwondo. So I'm really curious to see how Henry Cejudo approaches Sergio and whether or not he goes to his wrestling.
Right.
It's something you rarely see from him, which is kind of crazy considering he's an Olympic gold medalist.
Well, Cejudo really has traveled the world to try to better understand this complicated sport and get better. He says it's just all about timing, and it was sort of a crash course for him. He had 6 fights his first year as a pro. Because of that Olympic gold, he was fast-tracked a little bit. Alan Byers, the key to developing his hands, just got him to slow down, get in a stance, and be a more composed striker. We'll see if Henry Cejudo can get it done tonight against Sergio Pettis. Let's get to the tail of the tape for this one. Cejudo still just 30. Sergio Pettis is 24. Pettis the taller party by 2 inches. He will have a whopping 5-inch reach advantage on the feet. And now for the introductions, back inside the octagon to Bruce Buffer.
Ladies and gentlemen, this fight is 3 rounds in the UFC flyweight division. Introducing first, fighting out of the blue corner, a mixed martial artist holding a professional record, 16 wins, 2 losses. He stands 5 feet 6 inches tall, weighing in at 126 pounds. Fighting out of Milwaukee, Wisconsin, presenting the number 4 ranked flyweight contender in the world, Sergio And now introducing his opponent, fighting out of the red corner, a wrestler holding a professional record, 11 wins, 2 losses. He stands 5 feet 4 inches tall, weighing in at 126 pounds. Fighting out of Phoenix, Arizona, presenting the 2008 Olympic gold medalist in freestyle wrestling and the number 2 ranked flyweight contender in the world, Henry the Messenger Cejudo. And when the action begins, our referee in charge, Keith Peterson.
Keith Peterson draws the assignment here. Flyweight title eliminator. The beautiful Chrissy Blair is with us.
Sir, are you ready? Sir, are you ready?
The messenger, fight. Henry Cejudo. And Sergio Pettis. Pettis in black, Cejudo in blue.
And Cejudo is taking that same stance. That same wide karate, Conor McGregor style stance. Much like Lyoto Machida used to fight. I mean, this is a new thing, and Sergio attacks that inside leg.
Cejudo now training in Northern California. Actually got caught in those wildfires. Burns on his foot, lost his Olympic gold medal, but still able to make the walk tonight against Sergio Pettis. And this fight, initially slated for May in Dallas at UFC 213, or 211, I should say. Cejudo was forced to pull out of that fight due to injury.
Good exchange there. The left hand snuck in by Sergio Pettis. He just popped him with the jab as well. Nice leg kick by Pettis. Pettis is very smooth and relaxed. I was actually talking to Pettis' mother in the gym today. She showed me a text message that Sergio had sent her. It said that he's not worried about the outcome, that he's comfortable and happy, and he just wants to go out there and perform and do his best. And look at this. Henry Cejudo takes him down and immediately gets to side control. And the way he took him down was like an Olympic gold medalist. Just smooth. That wrestling, that's top of the food chain, folks.
Former Grand Canyon University standout. And Cejudo has finally mastered this weight cut, too. It takes a lot of discipline. He's like, I'm a meaty 25er, you know? And that was something that plagued him earlier in his career outside of UFC. Staying heavy here inside control.
Yeah, there was a lot of talk about him moving up to 135 at one point in time, but he has mastered this weight cut, and he really thinks that he could be the very best in the world at this weight. Cejudo takes the back of Sergio Pettis. Pettis tries to roll, he turtles. Cejudo with some brutal knees to the thigh, end to the body. Looking to get that hook in. Boy, you see a giant grappling advantage for Henry Cejudo here. Just his ability to manipulate bodies is second to none.
Right.
And when you're talking about a guy who's really big for this weight class, his physical strength at 125 pounds is also amazing.
Yep.
He spun him here, but Sergio's doing a good job of avoiding those hooks. Cejudo's trying to get that left leg and sneak it in between. See how he's trying to do that? He's trying to push that leg apart so he can get that hook in. But Sergio's keeping it nice and tight. He wants to avoid getting his back mount taken.
Under 2 minutes here to go in the round. Into
now
the corner of Henry Cejudo.
Circle toward me and throw your right knee.
Circle towards us, right knee.
I wonder if
Good,
he can hear them.
that right knee. Good. Snap him down.
Go ahead, lock.
Snap him down.
We don't let him out. We take his back again.
Good. Good. Beat him up right here. Yep, wrist right again. Drag that hip.
Alan Byers, Eric Albarracin, Santino DeFranco in the corner of Henry Cejudo.
I'm impressed with the control of Henry Cejudo, but I'm also impressed with the defense of Sergio Pettis. He's doing a good job of avoiding letting Henry get to his back. And now he gets to half guard here, and now full guard.
Cejudo has taken down all of his UFC opponents with the exception of the fight in his UFC debut. Took down Demetrius Johnson, even though that fight was quick. Under a minute here to go in the round.
He's got to watch his arms here. Pettis is very skillful on the ground. And he's using those arms to create separation. Excuse me, he's using his legs to create separation, but he may also try to attack. His brother's phenomenal off of his back. Won the UFC lightweight title, his brother Anthony Pettis did, with the armbar.
Right. In his native Milwaukee, total strikes. A lot of them on the ground for Henry Cejudo. Pettis trying to kick his way back to his feet here. Oh, big right hand from Cejudo.
Big shots from Cejudo. Hammer fist to the ear. Ooh. Knee to the body.
Nice job by Cejudo to make sure that knee landed cleanly.
That was
Dominant
a big round.
First round, yes, for the Olympic gold medalist.
All right, breathe. All right, you're all right. Come on, kid. So, we gotta let the kicks go a little more. You're not trusting those kicks. We gotta trust them. Drink, okay?
He's gonna try to take you down again. All right, let's stay sharp in the takedown defense.
Okay. Let's go with the left high a little more. Go with the inside more, and hard front kick to the face. You can go hard front kick to the face. Drink.
through again. Let's see that snatch single. Take your time. Give me some level, change his standing, okay? He's going to come out worried about that shot right now, okay?
He's going to come out swinging a little bit.
Hey,
Let's be ready
I want to see the fake the shot, overhand, fake the shot. Give me that leg kick. See how it goes right there, okay?
Don't be hesitant. Once you're in range, throw that right in. Put it down the middle.
The new episode of Dana White Looking for a Fight, available now free on YouTube. Don't miss it as Dana Matt and John Vellante hit New York in search of UFC talent. A new episode of Dana White Looking for a Fight, available now, and you can see it on YouTube.
Sir, you ready? Sir, you ready? Fight.
All right, second round here. Henry Cejudo, Sergio Pettis. Pettis opening southpaw here. Seven UFC wins for Sergio, all of them by unanimous decision.
Interesting that Duke Rufus was saying, trust the kicks. Let your kicks go, trust your kicks. I think there's a good kick to the body there by Cejudo. I think a big factor is just the wrestling. I mean, especially now. Oh, there's a beautiful kick to the body by Pettis.
The second one of the round.
I mean, he listens. I mean, this 24-year-old kid is a real sponge. And Duke Rufus is just one of the best striking coaches, just MMA coaches, period, in the world.
Lifelong striker. And he talks about how coachable both these Pettis brothers are. Ooh, nice right hand.
Yeah, good right hooks there.
So an encouraging first minute to this second round for the underdog Sergio Pettis.
Nice inside leg kick by Pettis. And returned by Cejudo. Cejudo looking for the takedown. Pettis falls.
Plenty of time with which to work now here for Henry Cejudo.
Yeah, in full guard, but looking to pass.
Keep working, guys.
Perhaps even a little slip by Sergio Pettis led to this second takedown for Henry Cejudo.
Yeah, that was most certainly what it was. But the problem is, when Pettis is down, he has an extremely difficult time getting back up. And all he can do is defend here.
3 minutes to go in the round. Head out to your neighborhood 7-Eleven. Get a UFC branded Big Gulp for a chance to instantly win prizes. Well, Pettis can continue to control the head and the posture here. Maybe Keith Peterson will stand him up.
Very possible, especially if the people keep booing.
Yeah,
that works,
makes
man.
a difference, I know.
It really does. And you can see it in the referees' faces sometimes. They panic, especially guys that are like local,
right?
You know, like haven't really refereed a UFC before.
Although if I know Keith Peterson, I don't expect the crowd to phase him.
He ain't cracking. All right, Sergio switches to the body triangle, which is an entirely defensive position. You really have very few options for submissions other than maybe a Kimura and maybe a guillotine. And even then, you got to open your leg up to finish it usually.
A couple nice kicks with the heel there for Pettis.
Yep, totally legal. He's looking for an arm here. Doesn't quite have it. And now he's stuck. Quick spin there for Cejudo and just excellent control. And now we're back to where we were in the first round.
Great hips that Henry Cejudo. 90 seconds now to go in the round. Every time Keith Peterson tells him to get busy, he answers that command.
He just has phenomenal control.
Well, 9 minutes into this one, and Cejudo has 6 minutes of top position time. Pretty good way to neutralize the striker, Sergio Pettis, who now gets back.
Yeah, finally Sergio gets back up to his feet, but Henry still has a good grip on him.
Keep working. Use the position.
This is such a massive grappling advantage. Sergio turns it around, but very little time here, and now he separates. And immediately kicks.
See what Pettis can do with these final 30 seconds. Had a strong first minute to this round, and Cejudo can crack.
Nasty uppercut attempt there. They bang heads.
Well, Pettis really wanted this fight because it would position him near the top of the division. But he would appear to have some work to do as we get to this third and final round.
Tie.
Give me a nice deep breath.
Let him breathe for a second.
Good. Nice deep breath. Nice deep breath.
Be a little bit desperate.
Hey, hey, hey. Give me 5 minutes right here. I want a hard 5 minutes. Hey, nice deep breath. Nice deep breath. Hey, you're fucking murdering this kid. Hey, throw your hands. He's not doing well with the hands. Hey, he's gonna want some kicks. He's gonna want some wild shit. Keep the pressure. Keep those feints and level changes. Feints and level changes.
With those hands. Stay with him.
Hey,
you beat him down the center with them hands.
He can't take you down when you put pressure. When you're backing away, that's when he can take you down.
Okay, we need pressure. Throw more inside. Let's kick the head kick. 1-2 up, right high kick. We got other options, combos. It's all or nothing here. We gotta go for it, all right, son? Let's go, kid.
The unauthorized reproduction or distribution of this copyright work is illegal and punishable under law. Pretty good corner work, Joe, I thought, on both sides. Any takeaways for you on either side?
Well, the desperation in Duke Rufus's voice is pretty apparent.
Sir, you ready?
Got to go
Sir,
for
ready?
it, kid,
Fight.
and he wants him to go for kicks. And that's something that Cejudo's corner was well aware of. They also said, interestingly enough, that he's only taking you down if you move away. I definitely disagree with that, but I think they're just saying that to try to hype him up and get him more aggressive. Right hand there by Pettis.
Ooh. Nice job by Pettis to get that guard up. Good counters by Pettis.
Yeah, very good counters. And there's a takedown attempt, but stuffed by Pettis this time. Ooh, nice leg kick by Cejudo.
There's the shot from Cejudo right in on the leg, and nothing he can do about it.
Just a giant difference. Just a canyon in between their abilities.
And he just needs the smallest of windows against most guys, I would think, at 125. So, again, about 1 minute and 20 seconds in, Cejudo has Pettis planted on his back. Cejudo can continue to stay busy here. He can run some valuable clock time.
Pettis trying to push off Aldo from the bottom. Keith Peterson's just such a good referee. He's going to let them duke it out like this, but not a lot's going to happen as long as they stay in full guard here. Ooh, let's see the pressure.
I know the crowd is on him.
Let's see.
This crowd's had a whole lot to cheer about tonight.
Yeah, spoiled babies.
Just over 7 minutes.
Oh, look at this.
Of top position time for Henry Cejudo.
Side control now. They're telling him to go. This corner's screaming, go, 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 go. Get back up, get back up. They're saying go, 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 but he won't go. He can't choke you here. He definitely can, by the way. That's not true at all. They're just trying to get him to go.
Right.
Back to this.
Pettis working defensive here right in front of his corner.
Yeah, I think Pettis is in defensive mode, which is why he didn't explode there. And his corner was trying to urge him on, saying, go, 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 go.
Under 2 minutes now to go. Crowd trying to get behind Pettis, or maybe there's a fight in the crowd, not sure.
There's a brawl in the crowd. I'm going to stand up and watch that. Doesn't seem like much, folks. Poor technique. Meanwhile, Henry Cejudo still has a hold of Pettis, but Pettis is standing up. He's just got to separate those legs. Look at this. Boom. Slams him to the ground. Again, but he's up again. Now he's up. Now he's turning. Now he's there. Now he's just got to separate. And 1 minute and 20 to go. Sergio Pettis has a little bit of time here if he can get the separation. He's circling out. Push off. He got it. Here we go.
Pettis in all likelihood needs a finish. Eats a left hand there from Cejudo. Cejudo feints the shot. Less than 1 minute now to go. Pettis has got to go. And at this point, if you're Pettis, you can't be contented to go strike for strike. Pettis unofficially has landed just 21 of 77 significant strikes.
Yeah, he's just got to go for it here. I mean, so far behind in this fight. He just got to go for a head kick or something. It's just a matter of finding the opening for the big punch or the big kick. But he definitely can't hesitate. He's got to have a serious sense of desperation if he wants to win this fight. Or he can just fight to the best of his ability, as technically as he thinks he can, and learn. And that looks like what he's going to do.
Shot late from Pettis. Beautiful sprawl from Cejudo. And that'll do it. So Cejudo in his last 2 UFC fights against Benavidez and Hayes leaned on the striking. Tonight goes to the wrestling, and it was there when he went to it. This fight replay brought to you by Budweiser. This Bud's for you.
And this is what you call high-level wrestling, ladies and gentlemen. Boom. And we saw that over and over again. Big punch here by Cejudo. Ripped to the body by Cejudo. Just what we saw here is just dominant world-class grappling from one of the best wrestlers in the division, if not in the sport.
And pretty efficient on the feet as well, at least in terms of the numbers. 54 of 95 on the significant strikes for Henry Cejudo, who outclasses Sergio Pettis here tonight. And Pettis will be back. I mean, you set it up off the top. He's 24 years old. He has gained some invaluable UFC experience. 10 UFC fights before his 25th birthday for Sergio Pettis. And there is Santino DeFranco among those in the corner of Henry Cejudo, trying to improve to 6 up and 2 down inside the octagon. The official decision is brought to you by Metro PCS, who brings you closer than ever to the UFC on a fast nationwide 4G LTE network. Here's Bruce Buffer.
Ladies and gentlemen, after 3 rounds, we go to the judges' scorecards for a decision. All 3 judges score this contest 30-27 for the winner by unanimous decision, Henry the Messenger Cejudo.
All right, so Henry Cejudo, your winner by unanimous decision. 2 straight since the split decision setback to Joseph Benavidez. We'll see if it was enough to earn another crack at the UFC flyweight champion, Demetrius Johnson. All right, well, coming up next, yes, the wait is over for the co-main event between heavyweight contenders Alistair Overeem and Francis Ngannou, brought to you by EA Sports UFC 3. Play the EA Sports UFC 3 open beta, available now until December 5th. Download for free on PlayStation 4 and Xbox One. Let's get to the heavyweight rankings, also brought to you by EA Sports UFC 3. Francis Ngannou's in the game, I can assure you of that, Joe. Also the betting favorite tonight, but of course the #1 ranked heavyweight contender is Alistair Overeem. And tonight, as the underdog, the Reem will try to halt the momentum of the thus far perfect inside the octagon, Francis Ngannou. So Ngannou, widely regarded as the UFC's next great heavyweight. Of course, though, to cement that status, he must first defeat one of the best big men to ever do it, the Demolition Man, Alistair Overeem. Oh, uppercut.
He's done. That's it.
It's all over.
Wow.
Oh! Big hammer fist. Man, this guy is super strong. He got it.
The Predator, Francis Ngannou. Oh, Ngannou knocks Arlovsky down. We might be staring at a future UFC heavyweight champion, Francis Ngannou, ladies and gentlemen.
Francis Ngannou is one of those new wave of heavyweight prospects. In 11 fights, Francis Ngannou has positioned himself at the very top of the UFC's heavyweight division. This guy has unbelievable potential, and we see that every time he steps foot in the octagon. When Ngannou lands, people fall. That's just the way it goes.
There's a reason you're the most scary heavyweight in the division right now.
This fight is a huge risk for Alistair Overeem, but the risk is worth the reward, as he may earn another UFC heavyweight championship fight.
Shot! He's out! It's all over! Stipe Miocic remains!
Stipe uncovered a weakness that I had. I've been working hard on it to fix it. I believe I have fixed it now.
I doubled down and went back to work, and the work will not stop until they have UFC heavyweight title.
I'm a finisher. I punch hard. I've punched a lot of people's lights out. I've seen many people come and go. I've stopped many people in their tracks. The bigger the fighter, the better.
I think Alistair Overeem, he has a good experience, very good strategy, but I'm the guy, I'm here to become the champ. I'm gonna put everyone out. Every fight is a part of my birth. All those wins give you the final title shot.
It's gonna be violent. He's a big, strong dude, but he is gonna fall. There will be a new Alistair. We will beat Francis. It will be in a spectacular fashion, and we will deserve the title shot.
A Cameroonian with a dream, some amazing physical gifts, and the work ethic to match. Here is the man, Joe, who is all the rage, the number 4 ranked heavyweight contender, Francis Ngannou.
He's got the shine, John Anik.
He has it.
The question is, how is he going to do against world-class opposition? And when we're talking about the top of the food chain, number 1 contender, former K1 Grand Prix champion, former Strikeforce heavyweight champion, Alistair Overeem. Well, the odds makers have him the favorite, right? Which is just crazy. If you really think about the amount of experience, and you're talking about one guy who's 10-1, and one guy who has some insane amount of fights, both in kickboxing and in MMA, and yet this guy is the favorite. That's how high people are.
I love how you're all over the betting lines tonight. Tonight's Prep Point brought to you by 7-Eleven. Head out to your neighborhood 7-Eleven and get a UFC-branded Big Gulp for a chance to instantly win prizes. You run out of time setting up this guy's story, right? But homeless on the streets of Paris 5 or 6 years ago, just wanted to be a pro boxer in the mold of Mike Tyson. He found Fernan Lopez in the MMA factory, and the rest, as they say, is history.
And you look behind him, he's got Jerome LeBanner, all-time heavyweight great kickboxer. Dewey Cooper, another great kickboxer. I mean, man, fantastic training. He lives in Vegas now, doing all of his training, and a tremendous amount of it at the UFC Training Center with the Performance Institute, which is just one of the most amazing facilities in the world. He's got everything going for him, and a lot of people believe that this is the future.
And Bo Sandoval, the director of strength and conditioning at that UFC Performance Institute, has just played a monumental role in this whole camp. And really, since Ngannou moved to Las Vegas, he has been a huge component to everything that Ngannou has tried to do. And he's from Batik, Cameroon. Average citizen makes $1,300 a year. Absolutely incredible where this man is on the cusp of UFC heavyweight glory. But to realize those dreams, his challenge tonight, the number 1 ranked heavyweight contender, former UFC title challenger, and has decorated a heavyweight as there has been in mixed martial arts, the Demolition Man, Alistair Overeem.
This man's a warrior, ladies and gentlemen. I mean, a real warrior. This is the only guy that you could ever think of that has world-class kickboxing skills and world-class MMA skills and is at the top of his game. This is the guy. You're talking about the K1 Grand Prix champion. You're talking about a guy who has beaten a who's who in MMA. Holloway. Talking about a guy who knocked out Mark Hunt in his last fight, which is just an incredible achievement. Spectacularly skilled. I mean, Alistair Overeem literally can do it all and is, without a doubt, one of the best technical strikers in the heavyweight division. This is going to be skill and experience versus unbelievable firepower. How unbelievable? The #1 highest ever registered power punch in the world. That's what Francis Ngannou possesses. He has the world record for power punch. That's
no more.
insane.
So for Alistair Overeem, 88% finishing rate in his 43 professional wins, 21 knockouts or TKOs, 12 stemming from a kick or a knee, 17 wins by submission. And I'm not the biggest stats guy in the world, but his percentage of significant strikes landed, 73%, #1 in UFC history. And we have seen in this second installment or version of Overeem, he's much more calculated on the field.
Yes, he realizes his vulnerabilities, and he's been much better at moving and creating angles and being sneaky and creative with his attacks.
All right, with that, we have arrived at this most anticipated heavyweight co-main event between Alistair Overeem, who is now 37, and the 31-year-old Francis Ngannou. Both fighters 6'4" tall. Overeem weighing in well below the 266-pound limit. Ngannou cutting a little bit to get down to 262. Francis, the Predator Ngannou, will have a 3-inch reach advantage. All right, now for the particulars, back inside to Bruce Buffer.
Ladies and gentlemen, this is the co-main event of the evening. Sponsored by, head out to your neighborhood 7-Eleven and pick up your UFC branded Big Gulp for a chance to instantly win prizes. And the Netflix film Bright, starring Will Smith and Joel Edgerton. Watch it on Netflix. And now, this fight is 3 rounds in the UFC heavyweight division. Introducing first, fighting out of the blue corner, a mixed martial artist holding a professional record, 10 wins, 1 loss. He stands 6'4" tall, weighing in at 262 pounds. Fighting out of Paris, France, presenting the #4 ranked heavyweight contender in the world, Francis the Predator Ngannou. And now introducing his opponent, fighting out of the red corner, a mixed martial artist holding a professional record, 43 wins, 15 losses, 1 no contest. He stands 6'4" tall, weighing in at 247 pounds. Fighting out of Amsterdam, the Netherlands, presenting the former Strikeforce heavyweight champion and the #1 ranked heavyweight contender in the world, Alistair the Demolition Man Overeem. And when the action begins, our referee in charge, Dan Mergliata.
Only 3 fighters in the modern era have started their UFC careers 6-0 with 6 finishes. Rich Franklin, Anderson Silva, Ronda Rousey, Francis Ngannou with an opportunity to join that mix tonight. And for Alistair Overeem, his 60th professional MMA fight.
And Alistair runs at him with a left hook. Very interesting. Alistair with the clinch.
You got to think his game plan was rooted in getting this clinch, and he's got it early.
Well, you never know. I mean, he probably has a bunch of different strategies to employ, because one of them is clearly try to land that left hook. But Ngannou, tremendously strong.
Overeem made his pro debut back in 1999.
Let's go, guys. Work. Keep busy there.
Training and regular massages have led to his longevity.
Oh, old school Marco Ruas going to the stomps.
Been a long 11-month wait for Ngannou since his win against Andrei Arlovski back in January. Was to fight Junior Dos Santos at UFC 215 in September. but that fight went by the boards.
All right, break time. Separate. Hands up, hands up, hands up. Let's go, box.
Burning up Mick Maynard's phone to try to get a matchup with Ngannou. Oh, goes the win! Francis Ngannou has arrived!
Whoa! That's what we were talking about, ladies and gentlemen.
Paging Stipe Miocic. Francis Ngannou is coming.
Good Lord.
1 minute 43 seconds.
He hit him with a left hook and picked him off his feet. Alistair Overeem is still out cold. His toes are still curled. He's locked up right now like he just got electrocuted. He's still stiff as a board. Look at his feet. Look how his toes are still curled up.
This fight replay is brought to you by Budweiser. This Bud's for you.
Boom! And then boom. Let's take one more look at this left hook. I mean, just perfect on the chin and shut him completely off with one shot. That's how scary Francis Ngannou is. I mean, that's like a scene in a movie. Wow.
Looked like he said, "Where is the belt?" It's in Cleveland, Ohio. But you gotta think Francis Ngannou will be fighting Stipe Miocic next. Absolutely incredible result for Ngannou against that man, the #1 ranked heavyweight contender, Alistair Overeem. Francis Ngannou 6-0 in the UFC, and with about as many style points as you could ask for. This official decision brought to you by Metro PCS, who brings you closer than ever to the UFC on a fast nationwide 4G LTE network. Here's Bruce Buffer.
Ladies and gentlemen, referee Dan Mergliato has called a stop to this contest at 1 minute, 42 seconds of the very first round. Declaring the winner by knockout, Francis the Predator Ngannou.
My man, there can be no doubt now. There can be no doubt now. You are absolutely the #1 contender. You just knocked the #1 contender out cold with an absolutely spectacular knockout. How do you feel right now?
I'm feeling very good, very good. And then I'm on my way to the title shot, so I got Stipe because then I would say after the winner will win the title shot, so I think I got it tonight.
Oh no, you got a title shot. There's no doubt about it, sir. Take a look at the big screen at this spectacular one-punch left hook knockout. I mean, that is about as pretty as it gets, my friend. I said that is about as pretty as it gets.
Yes, we work a lot about attack and defense, you know, and then we was surprised. I was surprised because he doesn't change guard going on southpaw, but I always have my style for the two sides.
Now you will now be most likely receiving a shot at the heavyweight title. Give us your thoughts on a matchup between you and the heavyweight champion, Stipe Miocic.
Yes, I'm ready for that. I'm ready than ever I was.
I bet you are, sir. Congratulations on a spectacular performance.
I get one more thing. First of all, I want to thank everybody here. I want to thank my opponent who make the fight happen. He gives me the chance, and then I really thankful for that. And then want to thank all my coaches, Fernand Lopez, Jérôme Lebanet, who is here, the former the K1 champ, who come to help me. Dewey Cooper, who helped me for like 5 or 6 months. yes, for my striking. And then I want to thank all my family, everyone who support me, because I moved from Paris to Vegas 7 months ago. It wasn't easy, but there are a lot of people around, a lot of nice people. Just make me feel like I'm home. And then I want to dedicate this victory from all my brother in Libya who are treated as slaves. On this day, it's not very fair. I feel really bad for that. And yes, you know, that is criminal, you know. And then, excuse me for my word, but I just want to say, fuck slavery, guy. Fuck racism. Yes, and then claim the freedom, claim the liberty. Thank you, everyone.
Congratulations, Francis Ngannou, ladies and gentlemen.
Absolutely frightening power from Francis Ngannou, who has an entire sold-out arena standing here in Detroit, Michigan, after the biggest win of his career. But coming up next, our championship main event between Max Holloway and Jose Aldo, brought to you by EA Sports UFC 3. Play the EA Sports UFC 3 open beta, available now until December 5th. Download for free on PlayStation 4 and Xbox One. All right, one final look backstage at the undisputed UFC featherweight champion, Wyanai's Max Holloway. 11 consecutive wins, 8 of them finishes. Tonight, he will try to make it back-to-back triumphs over the former king of this division, Jose Aldo, stepping in tonight for an injured Frankie Edgar, and of course looking to maximize this opportunity in front of him against Max Holloway. The main event coming up next.
Holly Holm is an 18-time world boxing champion, but she is taking on the most violent woman in all of MMA.
Just watch me now. Just watch me now. I got something for you. You won't believe your eyes. Just watch me now.
Before you watch the main event between Max Holloway and Jose Aldo, enjoy this exclusive look at the new Netflix film Bright, starring Will Smith and Joel Edgerton. Watch it when it drops on December 22nd, only on Netflix.
We're just a couple of street cops doing our job. What is it? That is a magic wand. It's like a nuclear weapon. We gotta get out of this neighborhood.
What? My homies want to cut your head off.
Yeah, I got that effect on people.
I've only seen magic strike and kill. We might be in a prophecy.
We're not in a prophecy. We're in a stolen Toyota Corolla.
Bright, only on Netflix.
And now live from Little Caesars Arena here in Detroit, Michigan, it is time for the main event for UFC 218, Holloway versus Aldo 2. All right, Joe Rogan, tough act to follow. We're still sort of digesting what Francis Ngannou just did, but we spin it now forward to the main event, the featherweight championship, Max Holloway and Jose Aldo. Aldo got off to a good start in the first meeting. We'll see how it goes early on tonight.
Yeah, and I like the fact that Aldo, although he took this on short notice, was already preparing for the fight against Ricardo Lamas a couple weeks from now. So he's in full camp, he's in great shape, and there's going to be a big factor that we're going to see whether or not Jose Aldo can launch leg kicks in this fight.
Right.
During the first fight, his leg was injured. He said he couldn't throw leg kicks. He also fatigued quicker than normal.
Yep.
Could be a factor because of that injury as well. What we're looking at in Max Holloway, though, is a young prodigy. We're looking at a young man at 25 years of age. He's not even near his prime yet, and he's so smart. What you see from him inside the octagon is incredible intelligence, incredible MMA IQ.
Right.
He's just so slick and so smart. But Jose Aldo, when he's motivated, when he's in shape, like we see him right now, is a dangerous, dangerous man. Black belt in Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu that you rarely ever see from him. Fantastic leg kicks, brutal knockout power, and a wealth of experience.
And tonight he draws one of the best pound-for-pound fighters in the sport, Max Holloway, who chases a first here tonight to hear the words "and still" after this first defense of his title against the all-timer Jose Aldo.
Frankie Edgar fell out of his UFC 218 main event due to injury, Jose Aldo has stepped up to the plate to face reigning champion Max Holloway.
A lot of people are saying, well, maybe Jose Aldo is, starting to slow down a little bit.
Jose needs to come back and just bring his vintage stuff. This is a fighter that needs this for his legacy.
Tudo caminhando bem. Até que veio aquele meu chamar.
Aldo trying to stay in this fight, but the Hawaiian Holloway pouring it on. That'll do it. Max Holloway.
Eu nasci para ser o campeão e vou ser o campeão de novo. Eu acho que essas coisas às vezes é bom você dar um passo atrás para dar 3 na frente.
Every time I step in there, it's a new me. If he's banking on having that Max show up, the one that he saw in Brazil, I don't know, Aldo, man. You might be in a world of trouble,
I'm going to take your head off every second of the fight, and I'm going to do it with a smile.
Holloway looking to finish it. And it's all over. Holloway. He rose to the occasion. Holloway extends his winning streak.
Eu levo uma diferença muito grande nele, ou na velocidade, ou na explosão, onde ele quiser lutar. Eu estou muito à frente dele. Estou me sentindo como fosse José Aldo antigamente.
Too much people, they thrive in the past. It's not the past, it's the present. He's back again. Now I just got to show the world again why I'm the best.
Holloway is the undisputed UFC featherweight champion. Hawaii, stand up.
Wherever the fight takes place, I think I'm better. I might be biased, but it gets me by.
Proudly repping his home gym, Nova União in Rio de Janeiro, Brazil. Here is the King of Rio, the former two-time UFC featherweight champion, Jose Aldo, stepping up tonight for an injured Frankie Edgar and trying to get his belt back for a third time.
And here's the thing to take into consideration when you're talking about Jose Aldo. We've been watching Jose Aldo fight since 2008, right? That was the first time we saw him in the WEC. He had some fights before that. He's only 31. And that's really incredible. That just shows you what a special talent this guy was when he was young and still is now. You look at him physically, he looks fantastic.
Looks great.
He has been in some tough fights. But when you think about the overall career, this guy is still in his physical prime. I mean, it's really crazy.
Tonight's Prep Point is brought to you by 7-Eleven. Head out to your neighborhood 7-Eleven and get a UFC-branded Big Gulp for a chance to instantly win prizes.
Nobody wins the ball. He's had some ups and some downs, but I was very impressed with how he bounced back from the Conor McGregor fight with a fantastic victory over one of the toughest guys in the world in Frankie Edgar. Looked great in that fight.
Yeah.
And physically, when you look at him right now, that's about as good as he's ever looked.
Oh, I would agree.
He looks very, very fit. This is a really important fight for him. He knows it, and he was highly motivated. And as he said, when they offered this to him, that it was a gift from God.
Yep. And motivation is the buzzword, and you and I have talked a lot about it. And obviously, he's going to try to turn those words into actions tonight, but he is more hungry than ever. So he says, stepping in there tonight. He has finished 2 of his 8 UFC wins after finishing 7 of his 8 WEC wins. So last finish for Jose Aldo against the Korean zombie Chan Sung Jung, that was back in 2013 at UFC 163. But the Edgar performance, outstanding, stuffed all 11 of Frankie Edgar's shots. And tonight, as an underdog, he'll try to get the best of Max Holloway.
for better at work. I mean, whatever it's worth. I give whatever I'm worth. For my nigga who gon' go to hell or back for me, I'ma give him heaven on earth for a hell of a check. Yeah, whichever come first. Lessons on blessings on blessings. Look at my life, man, that's lessons on lessons on lessons. I treat me like it's a record. I tell the truth, I try to forgive me. These are all my confessions, man. This was the luckiest destined. I don't know Tony too many pieces. Hey, flip like a fade. And then when you back and let it call you out, that shit can get petty. Don't get no doubt, you're here for a good time, not a long time, you know. I haven't had a good time in a long time, you know. I'm way up, I feel this. Way up, I feel this.
The unflappable pride of Waianae, Hawaii. Here is the undisputed UFC featherweight champion, Max Holloway. Jose Aldo, maybe the consensus greatest 45er of all time, but the man with the most finishes, wins, and the longest winning streak in UFC featherweight history is the incumbent, the current champion, Max Blessed Holloway.
And you got to think of him as the greatest currently.
Yep.
I mean, when you look at the way Max Holloway fights, he fights with such amazing ring IQ, or MMA IQ, octagon IQ as it were. What he does is he figures out where he cannot be hit and where he can hit you, and then varies his rhythm. He's constantly varying his approach, varying how he moves in and moves out, and doesn't load up with things, doesn't leave himself exposed. When he's getting hit, he's moving away most of the time when he's getting hit. Doesn't take things very cleanly, and he has a wide array of skills. He can submit you, he can knock you out, he can wear you out. His endurance and conditioning is outstanding, his discipline is outstanding. He's always in phenomenal shape, and he's 25.
He'll be 26 on Monday, but he is 25 for a couple more days, but he's just totally unfazed or seemingly immune to pressure. The guy's ice skating, right? A few days before the fight. I don't know if UFC President Dana White loved that necessarily, but just absolutely incredible. The mental demeanor that he brings to the cage, changes up the tempo of his strikes, as you sort of alluded to, works the body to great effect, and the work ethic too is what all his coaches talk about. Nobody works harder in the gym, so it is going to take, in my mind, a Herculean effort really from anybody at 145 pounds to dethrone the current champion Max Holloway. And Jose Aldo gets his second crack tonight. 11 straight wins overall for Max Holloway, 10 of them at 145 pounds, one of 7 double-digit winning streaks in UFC history, and remarkably, several of those are still active right now. George St. Pierre, Demetrius Johnson, Tony Ferguson. But for Max Holloway tonight, he will try to close out Jose Aldo and end this rivalry at 2 fights. All right, let's get to the tail of the tape. For this UFC Featherweight Championship, Max Holloway, soon to be 26. Jose Aldo, remarkably still just 31. Holloway, the taller man by 4 inches. But as you see at the bottom there, Jose Aldo will have a 1-inch reach advantage. All right, now to get us the official introductions for this championship main event, here is Bruce Buffer.
Ladies and gentlemen, this is the main event of the evening. Sanctioned by the Michigan Unarmed Combat Commission. Our 3 judges scoring this contest at Octagon side are Derek Cleary, Saul D'Amato, and Chris Lee. And when the action begins, our referee in charge of the Octagon, Herb Dean. This bout is sponsored by Budweiser. This Bud's for you, and Metro PCS, who brings you closer than ever to the UFC on a fast, nationwide 4G LTE network. And now, for the thousands in attendance and UFC fans watching around the world, this is the moment you've all been waiting for. Live from the sold-out Little Caesars Arena in Detroit, Michigan. It's time! 5 rounds for the undisputed UFC Featherweight Championship of the World. Introducing first, fighting out of the blue corner, a mixed martial artist holding a professional record, 26 wins, 3 losses. He stands 5 feet 7 inches tall, weighed in at 145 pounds. Fighting out of Rio de Janeiro, Brazil, presenting the former WEC featherweight champion and the former 2-time UFC featherweight champion and the #1 ranked featherweight contender in the world, the challenger, Jose Aldo. And now introducing the champion, fighting out of the red corner, a mixed martial artist holding a professional record, 18 wins, 3 losses. He stands 5 feet 11 inches tall, weigh in at 145 pounds. Fighting out of Waianae, Hawaii, presenting the reigning, defending, undisputed UFC featherweight champion of the world, the pride of Hawaii,
All right, gentlemen, we've been over the rules. Protect yourself at all times. Follow my instructions. We're gonna keep it clean. Touch gloves and let's do this.
Max Holloway, Jose Aldo, take 2 tonight in front of a capacity crowd here at Little Caesars Arena in Detroit, Michigan.
Fight.
Holloway trying to extend his winning streak to a dozen. He is in the black and gold, befitting a champion. Jose Aldo in yellow.
Holloway always working behind that jab, always light on his feet. It's really one of his keys to success.
Holloway, the first undisputed Hawaiian champion since BJ Penn back in 2010.
The only time that I can remember him really standing put was when he fought Ricardo Lamas and they made an agreement. Yeah. And when they stood at each other at the end of the fight, and he pointed to the ground like, let's swing. Let's swing right here. That's uncharacteristic. Most of the time he fights very clever. Aldo taking his time here, patient. Aldo just looking for his openings. Pacing himself. And then a couple hard shots there.
Big right hand, followed up with a left.
We've seen a more economical Aldo. There's that leg kick right away. Brutal. Some of the best and fastest leg kicks in the business. Right hand over the top by Aldo. But not going to burn himself out like he did in the first fight. The first fight was super explosive in the first couple of rounds. And then wound up gassed.
2 minutes have gone by here in round 1. Little redness under that right eye of Jose Aldo. When Holloway does engage and extend, he does such a nice job getting his head out of harm's way. Aldo touching him.
Swinging. He's swinging hard. And these aren't technical punches he's throwing. He's throwing haymakers. Good shot to the body by Aldo.
Holloway able to circle out of harm's way. They clinch here briefly.
Knee to the body by Aldo.
He's a showman. Measured approach early from the champion. Stings Jose Aldo with a straight right hand.
He's getting just out of the way. You see how he does that? He's so good at being just slightly out of the way. Right there. I mean, his distance control is just outstanding. It's one of his biggest strengths by far.
Right.
Oh, but even when he gets caught, he's moving away. I like to see Aldo go back to that leg kick. He landed 2 so far, and they're both pretty hard.
1 minute now to go in round 1. Aldo just out of range with that combination.
Just touched him with that right hand.
Looked like an open palm strike there for Max Holloway. Busier man thus far.
Yeah, that jab is starting to really redden the right cheek. Jose Aldo.
Didn't take long. Down the stretch here in round 1. Holloway walking forward, arms down. Loads up on that right hand. Aldo able to evade. Oh! With a little taunt there at the end of round 1 after a big uppercut landed for Jose Aldo.
He just said the man is tired. That's the championship mindset right there, ladies and gentlemen.
He's got time to make small talk with Joe Rogan after round 1.
Said the man is tired. Boom. Uppercut. But look, he gets hit and then slides away. And points at him, laughs, claps.
Angles are working. Left, right. Beautiful. This is you, man. You got them all figured out. Okay? Just stay in charge when it's locking. No react. Focus. No blocks, man. All right. Let's go, baby.
Thank you, guys. It's your man. It's play. So we'll see the extent to which Jose Aldo is in fact tired here. Some pretty significant damage in and around that right eye, courtesy of that Max Holloway jab in round 1.
Yeah, my concern is that they haven't done anything with that. No one's come in and put Vaseline on that. They didn't put an end swell on that. They just ignored that cut. That's a real cut.
Max Holloway unbeaten for more than 4 years since going the distance with Conor McGregor back in 2013 in Boston.
One thing to take into consideration is Jose Aldo's weight cut. He's always had a hard time making 145 pounds. And yesterday he needed 2 attempts to do that. Good stiff jab by Max Holloway. A wide-eyed Max Holloway who's energetic. There's a hard leg kick by Aldo. Needs more of that. More of that. It's interesting because Max is showing no ill effects from those leg kicks.
Or the uppercut or anything else. And you'll start to see an uptick in the volume from Holloway as the fight continues. Little flurry there from Aldo. Pressing forward off of that jab.
Aldo looking for that uppercut again, but Holloway slides out of the way and then right back in your face, so he doesn't let you rest. Good left to the body by Aldo, but a good right hand over the top by the champ. Nice jab. Good left to the body, yeah.
has found his range pretty well tonight. Holloway just seems unfazed.
Well, Aldo is coming into this fight knowing that the guy that he's facing has stopped him.
Yeah.
When has that ever happened before?
Right.
It's really the first time in his career.
Right, had the rematches with Chad Mendes and Frankie Edgar, but he was on the right side of those first meetings.
Yeah. And the only guy besides that to ever stop him, oh, that one stung, was of course Conor McGregor. That one stung. And again, oh, now he's chopping. Now he's chopping. Now that's old school Jose Aldo. He needs more of those.
And that was really the narrative from all the experts, was the leg kicks for Jose Aldo if he could establish them.
And again, he's going across the side now. Now we're seeing it. That's what I want to see from Aldo. And I want to see the response from Holloway. Right. And that response is most likely going to be to ramp up the movement.
Aldo's already landed more leg kicks in this fight than he did in the entire previous meeting. Oh. Good right cross from Max Holloway.
Good head movement there by Aldo. Slip to the side, good angle.
Holloway sticks that shot to the body and then gets out.
See, Holloway's style is so fluid and his endurance is so good. He can do this for a day.
Yeah.
But Aldo is just such a sprinter, and he takes his time in between the sprinting, but when he throws a shot, he's putting everything into it. And it's so exhausting. There's another hard leg kick by Aldo.
It's got to be a little discouraging when you feel like you're in a pretty good rhythm striking and your opponent just doesn't seem affected by what you're throwing his way. Another right hand for Aldo.
It is, but I know that Aldo must feel like those leg kicks are working. And he landed another one. That time, Max caught it.
Final minute of round 2 here, scheduled for 5.
Oh, nice spinning back kick to the liver. Jumped away on that one.
Right back
oh, nice one too. Oh! Max Holloway picking up the pace here at the end of round 2.
And this is exactly what he does as the fight continues. You'll see plenty more where that came from. Sticks and moves with the jab again. Flying knee for good measure.
It didn't land though. Oh, that one did.
10 minutes in the can, and they got to get working on that right eye of Jose Aldo.
I'm gonna need a louder horn. A louder horn. Breathe. Breathe. That wasn't loud. I need it. Okay.
Water. Water. Got it. Big breath. Big breath. Legs good? Okay, good.
All right, good job, good job. Hey, jabs are working out when you swing that right hand, he's gripping every single time. Your head's out clean. Só na respiração.
Vou te dar água daqui a pouco. Tá na tua mão a água, você molha a boca quando você conseguir estiver respirando melhor. Tá perfeito. Júnior, a luta está no chute na perna. Finta a mão que agora você tá achando que vai pegar a mão.
Feint to the right and kick. I need him to go backwards.
Nothing else. Stool.
Okay.
Off the stool.
We saw some hard leg kicks from Aldo, and there's one that really made Max limp a little bit. Good exchanges from both men, but Max Holloway noticeably picking up the pace towards the end of the second round.
Andre Pedernera seems to like where Jose Aldo is at as we arrive at this 3rd round. This was the round in which Holloway stopped Aldo in the first meeting back in June. But these guys like Tony Ferguson and Max Holloway, you feel like they could fight 10 5-minute rounds.
Because they could.
Yeah.
They really could. I mean, Holloway's so efficient. So efficient and relaxed and composed in there as well. Nice knee by Aldo. I'd really like to see him go back to those leg kicks, and there it is. Boom. I mean, that is one of his most significant weapons.
Max hasn't really made any attempt to check it. 1 minute into this third round.
Ooh. Nice elbow on the break. Aldo's got his mouth open though, and he's breathing out of his mouth. Still looks good though. Nice jab. But Holloway is not even breathing heavy. I mean, look at him. Look at him. He's talking to him, popping him. Oh. Ooh. And what a punch he can take too. I mean, it's almost like he's invulnerable. He's talking to him and popping him.
I mean, how many guys can stand in front of Jose Aldo with hands dropped a little bit?
Well, good head movement by Aldo. But look, Holloway never lets up. Just keeps popping him, keeps popping him. And Aldo keeps sprinting. Every time he throws a shot, he's putting everything into it. And you can't keep doing that. You just can't. And it's 3 minutes to go. Oh, head kick. See, Holloway's very technical with the way he strikes. Pop, 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 pop. You never see him wind up, throw everything into it. It's almost always like that. Just touch it. Pop to the body. Pop to the body again. Aldo with his mouth wide open now.
Yeah.
So what happened was Max Holloway lured him into a slugfest. And Max Holloway came out of it completely unscathed, and now he's feeling loose. And he knows there's a lot of time left here.
Oh! Aldo just ate a huge combination from Holloway.
And Holloway landed, or excuse me, Aldo landed on Holloway, and Holloway just walked right through it.
Little cut to the left of the eye of Max Holloway. Big overhand right.
Almost fading badly. And he just got hit in the liver. He's trying to tie up now.
Oh, elbow from Holloway.
Holloway coming on real strong, and Aldo fading real bad. Nice knee to the body by Holloway.
Holloway right back to the body work, then back upstairs.
Oh, Aldo is a shell of himself now. He lands the right hand, and Holloway walks through it like it's nothing.
Oh.
This could be it.
Max Holloway peppering shots.
And just still staying very technical, very composed, nice knee.
Aldo still trying to fire offense, but yeah.
That cut is nasty now. This fight's not going to make it out of this round.
Oh! Holloway looking to finish Jose Aldo tonight.
Look at this. Aldo goes for the takedown. Holloway on top. Holloway slides over with that right knee. He's almost mounted him.
We'll see if Aldo can survive these final 40 seconds. Not a good spot here, Joe.
Terrible spot. Holloway's got his back. This easily could be it.
Aldo takes some time to give the referee the thumbs up.
There's 30 seconds to go. This could be it. Aldo desperately trying to survive. His face is a mask of blood. And Holloway all over him.
Aldo, fight back when you stop this.
Dean getting in there. He might stop this thing soon. That'll do it. Max Holloway has defended his undisputed featherweight championship. And he vaults into the crowd to celebrate with his family and friends. Max blessed Holloway. The winning streak is a dozen. And look what he just did to the consensus greatest featherweight of all time. Max Holloway might deserve that distinction at this point.
I think he does now. I mean, that was just a brilliant performance. I mean, he's gonna for sure need more victories for a lot of people, but the way he did that tonight was just amazing.
And in a lot of respects, he just makes it look like another day at the office. Too easy tonight for Max blessed Holloway. This fight replay brought to you by Budweiser. This Bud's for you.
Just so intelligent, so strategic, and he lured him into this wall, this war. He lured him in, and Aldo fired at him with all of his might, and then he got drained. He's just standing over us going, what did I tell you guys? And then he started swarming him, just overwhelming him. Pop, 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 pop. Stayed on him constantly, no breathing. Just would not let him breathe, and then just annihilated him once he got him to the ground. Battered him, and you're seeing the former champion, a mask of blood, battered, exhausted, and the current consensus champion, in my opinion, the best now, the best ever, just beat him down.
Unbelievable.
Spectacular performance.
And the referee gave Jose Aldo every chance to stay in the fight, but Max Holloway proved too much yet again, and he has been too much for everyone for 4 years, never been knocked out in the UFC, hasn't been finished, dating to his UFC debut against Dustin Poirier all the way back in 2012. And you got to think Frankie Edgar is sitting somewhere in the greater New Jersey area hoping that he gets that title shot against Max Holloway. The official decision is brought to you by Metro PCS, who brings you closer than ever to the UFC on a fast nationwide 4G LTE network. One final time tonight. Here's Bruce Buffer.
Ladies and gentlemen, referee Herb Dean has called a stop to this contest at 4 minutes, 51 seconds of round number 3. Declaring the winner by TKO and still the undisputed UFC featherweight champion of the world, Max Bless Holloway.
I'm here with the champ and his son, Max Holloway. That was a beautiful performance, a spectacular performance where you just technically broke him down, and you came up to us at the end of the first round and you said the man's tired.
Yeah, you know, at the end of the day, it is what it is. But hey, all due respect, man, Aldo's a hell of a champion. But I told you guys, this is a blesser, this is something new. I was in there, I told you he was tired. Before the finish, I put my hands in front of him. I was watching Lomachenko a lot before this fight, and I was trying to Lomachenko him, but I wasn't moving. You know, his leg kicks is pretty hard, but I think we passed the test.
You definitely passed the test. Now, in the third round, in the beginning of the round, you really lured him into a slugfest.
Yeah, you know, I knew he was tired already. That was the whole thing. My trainer said, let's take him into deep water. We know he can't swim there, and then we're going to drown him. That's what I exactly did. But first, this is a Brazil versus Hawaii thing. My boy Yancey did his thing, I did my thing. Hashtag UFC Hawaii. Let's get one and blazed out. And shout out to the World Surf League right now. We got another Brazil versus Hawaii crime in the World Surf League. John Florence, go get your title, baby. We're gonna have 2 champs at the end of this year.
Max Holloway, this victory, 2 in a row over the consensus greatest featherweight of all time. We were talking about this. This puts you in that position now. You are now the greatest featherweight of all time.
No, I got a lot of catching up to do. You gotta respect the man. The man got all the numbers. I gotta catch up on the title defenses, then maybe we can talk about it.
Who do you see in this division now that represents, here you go, sir. Who do you see in this division now that represents the next challenge for you? Frankie Edgar was obviously supposed to be fighting you tonight, but he got injured. Do you feel like that is the biggest challenge for you out there?
I told you guys, all these guys is cupcakes. I look forward to the new flavor, but any of them can get it. I like cupcakes, and I'm gonna eat them all, baby. Thank you guys.
Congratulations, sir. Max Holloway, ladies and gentlemen.
Well, what else can you say about the UFC featherweight champion, Max Holloway? There is an argument to be made that he could be the best pound-for-pound fighter in the sport right now. A lot of guys who could lay claim to that title, but the winning streak is 12, and 9 of those have been finishes for Max Holloway. It'll be a happy birthday for him when he turns 26 on Monday. And what an athlete that Hawaii can rally around, and what a night for the MMA leader here in Detroit, Michigan. UFC 218, Holloway versus Aldo 2 has been brought to you by the Netflix film Bright, starring Will Smith and Joel Edgerton. Watch it on Netflix December 22nd. by Metro PCS, who brings you closer than ever to the UFC on a fast, nationwide 4G LTE network. And by Exotics Racing. Drive supercars on a racetrack from $199 in Las Vegas and Los Angeles.
Momentum. It builds hit after hit. Win after win. It gathers strength. Slowly explodes suddenly and becomes an unstoppable force. Now, with their winning streaks on the line, the undefeated Ortega and the relentless Swanson collide. UFC Fight Night, Saturday at 7 Eastern on FS1.
And we will be watching 1 week from tonight. Fresno, California, Cub Swanson and Brian T. City Ortega in the featherweight main event. And perhaps the winner there factors into this mix for Max Holloway now moving forward. But of course tonight in Detroit, Michigan, a lot of big winners, not the least of which was Max Holloway, who makes it 2 straight over Jose Aldo and successfully defends his UFC featherweight championship for the first time. John Anik, Joe Rogan, Octagon side here tonight, and how good is this 25-year-old Max Holloway, man?
He's phenomenal, and I love the respect that he showed by saying that he's not the greatest featherweight, that Jose Aldo is, and that he's still got some catching up to do. But as far as skill, as far as what he's able to do inside the octagon, his approach is so intelligent. And the fact that he's able to break Aldo down, wear him out. And again, Aldo, this was Aldo. This was the leg kick in Aldo. This was Aldo throwing bombs. But Holloway is the better fighter. He's the more skillful fighter. He's the more intelligent fighter. He's the more strategic fighter. He's the guy who lured Jose Aldo into a slugfest because he knew he was tired. And then you see him just overwhelming him in the 3rd round. Just sheer volume. And you can see Aldo drowning, just drowning, trying to stay above the water. Can't do it. And then finally, the referee, Herb Dean, had seen enough. That was a sensational performance because you're looking at a guy in Jose Aldo that's only 31 years old. And Holloway just overwhelmed him.
Unbelievable. And it's not as though this performance for Jose Aldo was without merit. I mean, Max Holloway limping a little bit walking out of the octagon, but just way too good. And again, just 25 years old. So here are the featherweight rankings. We mentioned number 6 versus number 4, Cub Swanson, Brian Ortega, 1 week from tonight. So the calendar would align there. Frankie Edgar is lurking. Ricardo Lamas had his chance at UFC 199, but Lamas is no picnic on any given Saturday night. So.
No, he's not. He's definitely not a picnic. He's still a very, very tough guy. There's a lot of really good fighters in that division, but there's one great one, and that one great one is Max Holloway. I mean, what he did tonight against a Jose Aldo with no excuses, a Jose Aldo with no injuries, a Jose Aldo who was fit, who looked fantastic. He was ripped. He looked ready to go. He was landing leg kicks. He was throwing bombs. And Holloway's ability to roll with shots, take them and rebound, and then just stay on you, constant pressure. It was a big part of what won this fight. He's just constantly on you. And you've always got to breathe and react to that and think about that. And that was a giant part of his strategy. His movement, his ability to slide just out of range, is just one of the best ever.
Beautiful thing.
Amazing, amazing fighter.
Fluidity, I think, is the buzzword for me. Let's get to Francis Ngannou. So
I'm scared.
I know.
I don't want to watch that replay again. I can't.
So
my heart can't take it.
He was out since January, and I think he took some of that frustration out on Alistair Overeem.
Well, he's out because nobody wants this. I mean, and he's in this weird position where everyone's terrified of him. And, I mean, good Lord. I mean, can I see that one more time? I say I don't want to see it again, but I'd like to see it again.
Well, hopefully they'll run it back for you. We're going to show you the heavyweight rankings, but, you know, you also said to me off the air that not only does Ngannou have all the skills and all the strength in the world, he's got that requisite mean streak to go with it, right? Landed that final shot on Overeem.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, he's taking no prisoners, man.
No, listen, this man, yes, please, can I say it one more time? This man was homeless. I mean, try to understand this. Just a few years ago. And now he's the scariest man on the planet Earth in the most skillful fight league on Earth. That might be the baddest man in the planet. One more time. Stipe Miocic obviously has a lot to say about that. Watch this one more time. Watch this left hook. Boom! I mean, bang, and then that hammer fist to an already completely unconscious Alistair Overeem. And again, not just that he did that, but he did that to the #1 contender in the heavyweight division. He did that to the former K1 Grand Prix champion. He did that to the former Strikeforce heavyweight champion. Woo!
And dare I say, it didn't totally land flush on the replay, right? I mean, it wasn't his full fist.
Well, he's kind of moving away, too, as he's throwing it. I mean, off-angle punches put you in orbit. He's a special guy. But Stipe Miocic is the champion.
Yes.
I mean, he's a world-class heavyweight champion. Yeah. That's the fight to make. That's the fight that's going to be interesting. And that's the fight we're really going to find out whether or not Stipe Miocic can fight off this storm.
And when they do fight in the first quarter of 2018, I wouldn't be surprised to see Francis Ngannou as the betting favorite to win the UFC heavyweight championship.
Oh, yeah. I mean, you look, he was the betting favorite tonight against... Just incredible.
All right, quickly before we go, Eddie Alvarez, Justin Gaethje, fight for the ages, obviously here tonight. And for Eddie Alvarez, at 35 years old, to hand Justin Gaethje his first loss in this way is absolutely incredible.
Sensational, and in a blood and guts war. Everything that it was advertised to be. And Justin Gaethje severely damaged his leg with those leg kicks, just as we expected he would. Alvarez had to switch up southpaw. He got rocked a couple of times, but then that big knee did it all for Eddie Alvarez. Shut the lights out on Justin Gaethje, ended his win streak, and won Eddie Alvarez the title of the most violent man in the sport until we saw the heavyweight title, and then it was a heavyweight fight, and I think I got to give it to Francis Ngannou.
Yeah, I think so.
I'm sorry, Eddie. I think Ngannou's more violent.
So hopefully we do get to see that title unification bout between Conor McGregor and Tony Ferguson, but this puts Eddie Alvarez firmly in the mix. Barboza and Nurmagomedov have a date later this month.
Yes.
155 pounds, starting to move a little bit now.
Oh, I mean, it's a sensational division. It's just a shark tank. And Tony Ferguson, of course, is right now the interim champion, waiting to find out whether or not Conor McGregor is even going to fight in MMA again.
Right.
So he's in a weird position. Khabib Nurmagomedov versus Edson Barboza is a sensational fight. Cannot wait for that.
Big night tonight for Eddie Alvarez. We couldn't sit still all week waiting for this fight card, and the fighters delivered once again. Here's what's coming up inside the Octagon. So a busy December continues with 3 big cards. First up, the Octagon heads to Fresno, California for a fantastic featherweight main event between Cub Swanson and Brian Ortega. The main card gets going next Saturday, 10 p.m. Eastern, 7 Pacific, only on FS1. Then the following week, we are back on Big Fox for a welterweight main event with massive title implications, as ruthless Robbie Lawler looks to hold off the hard-charging Rafael Dos Anjos. The main card live from Winnipeg at 8 Eastern, 5 Pacific on Fox. And 2017 wraps up with a huge pay-per-view from the fight capital of the world. Chris Cyborg defends her featherweight title against Holly Holm. Plus, Khabib Nurmagomedov battles Edson Barboza, and so much more. That's UFC 219, December 30th, live on pay-per-view, 10 in the East, 7 out West. You can watch the UFC 218 post-fight press conference at UFC.com. The UFC 218 post-fight show with Karen Bryant, Michael Bisping, Rashad Evans, and Megan O'Leary is already underway on FS1. For those of you watching in Canada, you can flip it over to TSN as soon as we're done. What a night here in Detroit, Michigan. The executive producers of the Ultimate Fighting Championship, UFC President Dana White, Ari Emanuel, and Patrick Whitesell. Our Executive VP of Operations and Production is Craig Borsari. Coordinating producer, Zach Candido. Our senior producer, Lappy LaPlante. Tonight's show has been produced by Bruce Connell and directed by Anthony Pasquale G. Ordano. The Underground King, Eddie Alvarez, sends Justin Gaethje down and to 18-1. Big night for Philadelphia, Pennsylvania across the board. Forrest Griffin loving the action here tonight. That led into Sergio Pettis and Henry Cejudo. It was all the messenger here tonight. The Olympic gold medalist ends Pettis' winning streak at 4 and positions himself potentially for another crack at the belt. Francis the Predator Ngannou. Cameroon is on the UFC map. Down goes the Demolition Man. And Francis Ngannou's next fight will be for the UFC Heavyweight Championship, as he gets the biggest win of his career tonight. And then Jose Aldo tried to exact some revenge, but as was the case in June in Rio de Janeiro, Max Holloway too good tonight in Detroit, Michigan, as he successfully defends his belt for the first time. All right, with that, for the great Joe Rogan and our entire production squad, John Anik saying so long from Detroit, Michigan. We'll see you later this month in Vegas for UFC 219. Good night, everyone.